gets the receiving end of that, a 16-yarder. I know yesterday Earl Bruce thought that Cooper was ready to break out and have a long run.
The defense jumped over to defense the other side of the formation, and I'll be gosh, they handed the football right where they jumped out of and gave them a nice hole to go running through it. Here's that big horse being taken on by a defensive back, Kennedy Wilson, downfield, and that is a physical mismatch. The defense slid to the right and opened a big hole there, and they boom, popped right through.
Guess wrong. From the 10, first and goal, just inside the 10. Byers, the 5. Byers on his feet, touchdown. Back-to-back touchdowns by Byers in this fourth quarter has made it a 40-27 game. Spangler makes it 41-27.
Here it is. You're going to give the ball to one of the guys in the best. Look at that hole up there. Now watch the power. See what I'm talking about? The Earl Campbell power, the good body lean. He gets his pads back up straight and gets it in the end zone.
When you were growing up, you learned you were facing a world full of competition. There were so many of you with all the right credentials. To succeed today, you need a way to stand out from the crowd, to make the most of your special kind of music. Introducing Amiga, the computer that gives you undreamed of creative power to work faster and more productively. With built-in color graphics no other comes close to. Amiga, the first personal computer to give you a creative edge.
You probably already know that beer is made from barley. Well, this is what it looks like. Now, most brewers buy their barley. One's different. One brewer grows all its own barley, and has for over 40 years. Now, why is that? I mean, why not just buy the barley? Hey, barley's barley, isn't it?
Ohio State now with a 41-27 lead. After having to tie it up 27-all, Keith Byers has scored 2 touchdowns in this fourth quarter. And in this fourth quarter, Ohio State has scored on all 3 possessions they've had. Okay, let's go back to New York. Let's join Jim Nance.
All right, Gary, in the battle for number 1, much has been made about Bo Schembechler's defense, which has allowed but 1 touchdown this year. But I'm sure the Wolverines will remember a year ago it was Hayden Fry's Hawkeyes who shut out Michigan 26-0. Let's go back to Gary and Dick.
Thank you, Jim. What is it that coaches talk about before the game when they come out like that?
I tell you, it's the greatest con job going. Hey, you're doing a great job of coaching. Hey, so are you. And geez, you know, too bad you lost last week, or great job. Let's get back here.
Everett on the pass intended for Carter, and he was hit by Rogan, I should say. Okay, you saw Bo and Hayden and the 2 of them meeting at center field, and boy, that's going to be some game. Chuck Long has just been superb. You see last week where got an outstanding running performance, and that's added to their passing game.
But the defensive stats of Michigan are almost unbelievable.
1 touchdown, 21 points.
Yeah, they really are.
And they haven't given up any points in the fourth quarter. Touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Everett. And that's behind and incomplete. Griffin, the intended receiver, and pounding the turf, thinking he should have had the interception, was Spielman.
Did you see how he flipped that ball out there? He just sort of sidestepped the rush and moved forward, a little off balance, and just fired about a 30-yard shot.
So they've already got a 3rd down with 1:56 left in the game.
Tough to turn the ball over, Gary, and still win.
Boy, and they have done that, haven't they? They started out with the 2 turnovers early.
And it actually looks like, with that 41 points scored, it looks like the route type thing, but that's not a true picture of how the ball game's been.
34 of 52 now for 467 yards as Everett. He's hit as he throws this one, and he got it off anyway, complete to Mark Jackson. And that'll set it up at the 49 as Coverall, that came storming through. We have a man shaken up for Purdue.
29 yards. I think Mike Connors is down. Now here he is.
He's up. He's tough. He's a sophomore out of Chicago.
You know, Keith Brown, who was a backup offensive tackle, number 72 for Purdue, is filling in for a starter, Mark Drenth, their inspirational leader. And, you know, he's done a great job the whole ballgame.
Yes, they have. By the way, that completion gives Everett a new record of 497 yards passing. He had 474 last week. He throws and incomplete. Wallace.
Put it right on the money.
Yes, sir. Very catchable. Sonny Gordon was over there, but Wallace just dropped it. I tell you, Earl Bruce is glad it's a 14-point lead now, not a 7-point lead, the way they're moving the ball again.
He's had some things go his way that, you know, that don't normally go your way in terms of a nice pass completions, advance the ball offensively, and then get the turnover. But you again go back and give those guys that made those tackles some credit.
Well, I remember the one where Pepper Johnson reached in that time. Well, they got behind 14-0, but they made a struggle out of it. 2nd down and 10. Everett, and that's a little too thin, and it's intercepted. That's the guy who's been close before, Spielman. Fifth attempt in this game, and that ties the record set by Scott Campbell, and Spielman with the 2nd interception of Everett here in the 4th quarter. 5 turnovers.
That's his first interception of the year. That's going to please him.
Think he'll relax a little bit now?
I think he might. But those kind of guys get excited when you say, let's go have a hot dog.
That's what I mean. I'm not sure he'll relax. From the 36 now. 1st down, Ohio State. 1:28 left in the game. Cooper. Well, if you looked at the newspaper tomorrow and you saw the score and you didn't read between the lines or read down the actual column, you'd think this game was not very close.
But you can tell it how far apart they are by the expression on that young man's face. You know, I think a lot of people have a hard time realizing how much a young man cares about winning. You know, they think it's just a game baloney. These guys really, really care.
Timeout, Purdue with 1:17. We'll be back to finish this one off in just a moment.
Looking for something more in a car, but the cost of keeping it on the road hangs over it like a dark cloud? Introducing a ray of sunshine, the 1986 Toyota Tercel. It has the lowest operating cost of any car in America. It's Toyota's lowest priced car. It has more room than any subcompact and front-wheel drive. The Toyota Tercel. You won't get soaked.
Who could ask for anything more? Toyota.
Some investors who thought oil was the only answer came up dry. They've seen that tying up all their money in banks isn't always in their best interest. And that following the takeover fad of the moment can lead to slim pickings. More and more, the ambitious investor is following Prudential Bates, whose rock-solid investment strategy is leading the way to the future. Prudential Bates Securities. Follow a leader.
Ohio State, 1:17 away from picking up the victory. Stay very much in the run for the Roses. 933 yards in offense in this game. And Byers, who had 96 yards prior to that carry, advances it inside the 40. Tony Visco made the stop, and Purdue's going to ask for yet another timeout. They have 1 remaining. 1:06 left. Iowa, Michigan. I saw Michigan last week. They defeated Michigan State 31-0. Dick, I've always been impressed about how physical the Big Ten is, but I thought Michigan was as physical a looking team as I've seen in a long time.
You know what always gives you that impression in regard to a Michigan team? Why that you always think that too is because they're always so fundamentally sound. The players bend their knees. They have good hitting positions, striking positions. They tackle soundly. They block fundamentally real well. And all of a sudden, that all adds, when you add the emotion of competition to it, they look like a very physical, tough team. And then you get one of those guys, and he weighed 218 pounds, and you thought he weighed 240, you know?
How would you like to be in the NFL and get Bo Jackson?
I'd look a lot smarter. Maybe I'd still be coaching.
That's some of the area we'll see that game, of course. Byers now needs 1 yard for 100 yards. 1:06. You see it on your screen. And there he goes over the 100-yard mark. And he hammers it out to the 49, and a job well done. Jeff Witter made the stop. Minnesota still unbeaten in the Big Ten. Lou Holtz in his second year has an outstanding quarterback in Ricky Foggy. North Carolina beating North Carolina State. Florida easily over Southwest Louisiana. Byers 106 yards now. Pittsburgh winning again. So I imagine that's will be the end of the effort for Byers today, and he'll get ready next week for that Minnesota team.
They better get ready. Of course, the Minnesota team is not a finesse offense. They take and run, and that maybe play into the Ohio State type defense. You can see they have trouble defense in the pass.
Here's John Woolridge, and he's going to get a first down inside the 40. Take this opportunity to thank our producer Mike Arnold, our director Bob Fishman, Scott Johnson, our associate producer, Rich Gentile, our broadcast associate, our statistician Mike Swanson, our spotter Trey Bender. As it's been a very entertaining game, and it looked like early with a 17-0 lead that Ohio State was going to have a cakewalk. It didn't turn out that way.
But I really respect the effort of Purdue, and we expected this from Ohio State. It was a good college football game. It's what the game is all about. This is the positive of college football. There's an educational experience going on down there, believe me.
From the 37, Pitts coming back to Workman, who had a 100-yard game against Illinois last week. By the way, Byers is over 100 yards for the 17th time in his tremendous career.
And that puts him over 3,000 yards in his career. He'll get up over 4,000 before the end of the season.
Well, it's going to be a little easier now. You get that first one out of the way, the anxiety of whether he could come back. He proved he can. And they have some tough games ahead. They got to play Michigan and Ann Arbor this year.
Yeah.
To Barry Walker, and the game has come to a close. 41-27. Ohio State defeats Purdue. We'll return after this word from your local station.
This is CBS.
If you want to save hundreds extra on a new 1986 Buick, come to D.L. Claiborne Buick for our special 86 model introductory deal. We want to put more 86 D.L. Claiborne Buicks on the road today. So come deal with us, and we'll give you more than just a great deal. Buy or lease and save more at D.L. Claiborne Buick, Campbellton Road at the Lakewood Freeway, 1 mile inside I-285.
Would you really rather deal with D.L. Claiborne Buick?
Atlanta This Week, tonight at 7 on TV5. Kathy Payne will show you the places, the faces, the new, the few. This week, meet a woman who builds houses, dream houses. See one of Georgia's real treasures, the State Capitol Museum. And meet a teenage model on the way up. It's the best of Atlanta 730 in one sizzling show. Atlanta This Week, tonight at 7 on TV5.
WAGA-TV, Atlanta.
The Chevrolet most valuable players of the game are Keith Byers of OSU with 106 yards, Jim Everett with a total of 497 yards. A check in the amount of $1,000 will be donated by Chevrolet to each college's general scholarship fund. The final score, 41-27, Ohio State over Purdue. For Dick Vermeil, I'm Gary Bender. Iowa, Michigan, and for some of you, Georgia Tech and Auburn coming up next.
Fly the friendly skies of United, serving more of the nation's top 100 business centers than anyone.
You're not just flying, you're flying the friendly skies.
On the NFL Today, a report on the Rams' big play defense. John Madden on what's happened to Lawrence Taylor. And Pete Rose on the World Series tomorrow on CBS Sports. This is CBS.
After landing in America, the Volkswagen Jetta soon became the #1 selling European import. In Europe, the Volkswagen Golf is their #1 selling car. In Atlanta, you'll find them both at your Metro Atlanta Volkswagen dealers. Combine Jetta's affordable German engineering and Golf's European road performance and economy, and you've got a #1 winning combination. See the new 86 Volkswagens today at your Metro Atlanta Volkswagen dealers.
Any day now, you're going to get a letter in the mail asking you to choose a long-distance phone company. Before you choose, I want you to keep in mind that MCI always costs less than AT&T, no matter when you call. And don't forget that MCI's Dial 1 service is good on any phone that you have, push button or rotary. But above all, remember all those times you said, if there was another long-distance phone company, I'd switch in a minute. Well, you have 35 seconds left.
When you're asked to choose a long-distance phone company, choose MCI Dial 1 long-distance service and start saving.
College football in the South means tradition. At Auburn, it began in 1892 with a 4-game season and a win over Georgia Tech's first ever edition of the Yellow Jackets. The tradition grew in 1896 when Auburn students greased the railroad tracks that would carry the Tech train. Unable to stop, it slid 5 miles past the station, and Tech players, coaches, and fans had to walk back to Auburn. The tradition of the Auburn War Eagle goes even farther back, to the Civil War, in fact. And every year since 1898, they've held the Rec Tech Parade as students march through the streets in their pajamas, just like their turn-of-the-century counterparts who slipped out of their boarding house, headed for the train station, and a permanent spot in the tradition of football. Dream started with the legendary John Heisman. He coached at both schools, coming to Auburn in 1895 and moving to Tech in 1904. And it continues with the trophy that bears his name. It may be headed back to Auburn in the possession of the Tigers' Bo Jackson. Trying to block that road to destiny today, the Black Watch, the heart of Georgia Tech's defense. It's a tradition as old as college football in the South itself, as Auburn meets Georgia Tech on CBS.
CBS Sports presents college football. Live from Grant Field in Atlanta, Georgia, it's Auburn versus Georgia Tech. Today's game is sponsored by your Toyota dealer, the 1986 Celica. Totally redesigned for more performance and style. Who could ask for anything more? AC Delco, the smart parts. And by Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It doesn't get any better than this.
This is CBS.
I send all kinds of stuff overnight. The one overnight express company that saves money for me is Percolator Courier.
A Purelator Courier.
Right, that's what I said.
I was paying lots more for overnight express till I switched to Pendulator Courier.
No. Purelator Courier.
Yeah, right.
With Purelator Courier, people know they get great service at great prices.
Purelator Courier.
But they have a little trouble with our name.
Purelator Courier.
If you want to save money and get great service, remember Purelator Courier.
Make this the sweetest day she'll remember all year long. With roses, beautiful, timeless roses from Kroger, America's largest florist. Tea roses, colorful sweetheart roses, or surprise her with dazzling mums, a stunning assortment, or any one of dozens of fresh-cut mixed bouquets, all at the floral shop at Kroger. See the difference. Go Krogering. What better sweetest day surprise than elegant red tea roses?
WAGA-TV, Atlanta.
Tech on 4th and 10 will punt the football away. Wigand on the return for Auburn. He's got a chance across the 50 into Georgia Tech territory at the 42. Second time that Auburn has had the football. Georgia Tech kicked off. Auburn picked up 1 first down, but the Black Watch defense held. And now you have just seen Georgia Tech punted away after 3 straight incompletions. Mike Snow, the punter, had to make the tackle on Trey Gaines, the return man. And Auburn in good shape for its second possession. Steve?
Well, the important aspect of the ball game is that everybody's concentrating on Bo Jackson. I think it's going to be the key of being able to watch John Dewberry on offense. Bo Jackson will get his yards just by the nature of the person he is.
Jackson on the first possession had 3 carries for 11 yards. There he goes again, and once again that Black Watch defense is there to stop him after a gain of only about 2. Auburn fumbled on its first possession, but the Tigers were able to recover. And turnovers have been a problem for this offense, Steve.
Well, generally when you're in an offense like the rushing offense, you're going to have the ball turned over a little bit. I think 2 aspects. The rushing aspect in terms of the high emotion that you expect in the ball game. You've got to keep those turnovers down to a minimum.
2nd and 8. Bo Jackson, the deep man in the eye, cuts it upfield. Ken Parker, the first man to hit him, and he reaches the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 5, and still you hear the cheer from the Georgia Tech fans as the defense hung in there. The backfield has Pat Washington, the senior quarterback. He's their leader. Jackson, the man who will get the ball almost all the time. When he doesn't, Tommy Agee, number 30, the fullback, will get it. A very dangerous runner. And Ron Middleton is normally in there as the H-back, sort of a second tight end in their set, along with the regular tight end, Jeff Parks. Right now they have 2 wide receivers in. Gaines, number 19, and Freddie Wagan, number 14. And this is Middleton in motion. Jackson on the sweep. Very close to the first down, but it looks like they will mark him short. And the tackle made by Anthony Harrison, a free safety, who came up and made the stop on Bo Jackson. 4th and 1, and Pat Dye has no problems going for 4th and 1. He's already done it several times, Steve.
Well, I think that anytime you've got a prolific back in the backfield in Bo Jackson, the problem is you don't want to be so obvious with Bo Jackson. Sometimes use him as a decoy. Everybody in the stadium anticipates Jackson will get the ball.
2 tight ends on 4th and 1. It looked like Auburn moved early. Looked like the right side of that Tiger line got off the ball a count ahead of the snap. And it will go against the Tigers. That'll make it 4th and 6, and this is a more difficult decision.
Well, no, I don't think it's that difficult. You're going to punt the ball away. What it represents, it's not a turnover, but it's a crucial mistake. Rather than be 4th down and 1, now they're 4th and 5, have to punt.
Yeah, Paul, illegal procedure on offense. Lineman raising up.
Bo Jackson has already carried the ball 6 out of 8 plays from scrimmage for the Tigers, and he has 20 yards, and that will make him the most prolific ground gainer in the history of Auburn football, and they have had some great ones. Lewis Colbert on to punt, the nation's leading kicker, averaging more than 47 yards a kick. And deep to receive for Georgia Tech is Corey Collier. He probably will not get a chance to run this one back. Going for the corner, and they'll get it. Marked now outside the 5, and they'll stop at the 7-yard line. Lewis Colbert pins them deep in their territory with 9:59 to go. We'll be back after this.
I want my Serta. I want my Serta.
Here's why people want their Serta, why they're spoiled for any other mattress. Only Serta goes beyond just being firm, beyond what others do. We top our support with the extra comfortable Serta Surface, a unique difference you can feel in a Serta Perfect Sleeper.
Marvin, I want my Serta.
Ollie, I can't see.
Relax. I know France like the back of my hand.
We need new Adco wiper blades.
Adco windshield wiper blades for Datsun, Toyota, VW, and other imports are available everywhere.
Much better.
Ollie, are you sure we're in France?
Where do you think we are?
Spain?
Spain?
Spain!
Adco, the best blades you can buy. Test prove it.
Here, hold my crush.
Looks good.
Yeah, real orangey. Just hold it.
Orange crushes inside, your eyes get bigger, your mouth gets wider till those all-natural flavors are deep inside. Your crush is so irresistible, you can't keep a bottle full. Hey, my crush.
I couldn't help myself.
Have a crush on sugar-free Crush, too. Sweetened with 100% NutraSweet. There's no saccharine aftertaste.
If you take the Somerset Road all the way out to Mangrove Bay, you'll find a very special place. Captain John's Boatyard, one of the only places in Bermuda you can rent a boat and a motor and spend the day out over the coral looking for fish, or out on the flats just looking. But remember two things. Bring some sandwiches and your Visa card, because Captain John doesn't sell food and he doesn't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
We're at Grant Field in Atlanta, Georgia. You're joining us in progress because of the runover of the Ohio State-Purdue game. We are scoreless here with Georgia Tech and Auburn, 9:59 to go. Georgia Tech 1st and 10 from its own 7-yard line. John Dewberry at quarterback, and he'll pitch it to Jerry Mays, trying to get outside, and no luck at all. Mays run out of bounds by that big defense led by Gerald Williams, the right tackle, the senior from Valley, Alabama. Mays has been quite a story the last couple of weeks. Gained more than 300 yards. Georgia Tech was the only major college to offer him a scholarship, and they are very, very happy they've done it now. Pat Dye, the head coach at Auburn. No coach has ever had more success in his first 4 years. Dye now in his 5th with a 4-1 record coming in. 2nd and 8 for Georgia Tech. Gary Lee is the man in motion. This is Jerry Mays. Mays hit hard as he reached the 15-yard line, but a good gain for the Yellow Jackets. Edward Phillips, the linebacker, in on the stop. Linebackers do not make a lot of tackles for this ball club. Very unusual. It's their down linemen who do most of the damage. Tracy Rocker, the left tackle, Harold Harmland, the nose guard, and Gerald Williams, the right tackle. 3 of the top 5 tacklers on the ball club. 3rd and a yard for Georgia Tech. They have yet to have a first down. Their first possession, they threw 3 straight incomplete passes. Mays in motion and Dewberry to throw. And it's complete, and it should be enough for a first down. John Dewberry with those passes under the zones hits his tight end Tim Mannion. Arthur Johnson and Russ Carricker, the linebacker, in on the stop.
Gerald Williams, 98, is the #1 tackler on this defensive football team of Auburn. Here's the frustration of being a pass rusher. You've got to be a relentless. You've just got to keep plodding away, pushing and struggling. Oftentimes you come up with nothing.
First down of the ball game for Georgia Tech. Mays again in motion. They'll give it to King, the fullback. King doesn't get much. Tracy Rocker, number 74, the first man to hit him, along with Phillips, 46, the linebacker. There's Bill Curry, and they have done a wonderful job here at Georgia Tech by letting him rebuild this program his way. In 6 years, he has a 21-37-2 record, but he has Georgia Tech on the verge of being back where it belongs in big-time college football. 2nd and 8 after a gain of 2 from King, the fullback. Dewberry on the option, no dice. And waiting for him was Gerald Robinson, the left end, and Dewberry had nowhere to go.
One of the things about Georgia Tech's offensive concept this week is that they have not shown the option play all season. They felt like they needed to take a little bit of attention out of the rushing lanes on Dewberry in the passing game, so make them think a little bit more on the outside about the run. Dewberry is not a prolific option quarterback by any means, but the point is the threat of it. You will cause your cornerbacks, your perimeter people to stay at home more often.
3rd and 8. 2 wide receivers in the ballgame. Here is a draw. It's Charles Mack, the fullback, across the 30 to the 31. He has another Georgia Tech first down. Nice call by the Georgia Tech coaching staff. They know that big pass rush was coming.
Well, you anticipate that Georgia Tech has to throw the football, so that will create opportunities for the draw play. Oftentimes, the hard rush of Auburn that they're known for in the passing game, he gets an excellent block on the outside. He's able to break into the secondary. With a hard pursuing defense, the draw play is very effective.
Georgia Tech out of the eye. This is Corey Collier into the ballgame for the first time. He gets outside. Corey Collier almost had a chance to break it. Just tripped up by Edward Phillips, number 46. And if Phillips doesn't get him, it's off to the races for another member of that microchip backfield. He's only 5'7".
two aspects of the game that I think are very important early is the emotional aspect of Georgia Tech. I think the emotion is on their side of the field. Plus, offensively, they have to play what the coaches say, unconscious football, play above their ability. Emotion provides that opportunity oftentimes.
Georgia Tech on a drive that started from their own 7-yard line has reached the 46. Dewberry, an all-ACC quarterback. To Mays, back into tailback. Mack could not get his man out of the way, and it was Phillips and Russ Carricker, 46 and 47, to knock him out of bounds. Let's go to New York for an update.
Mike, Syracuse has been throwing short most of the day, but here they go up top. Don McPherson to Mike Siano. 45 yards later, Syracuse is up on top 20-17 with under 6 minutes left, and the Orange have the ball. Let's go back to Mike and Steve.
6 minutes, 43 seconds to go in the quarter. We're scoreless between Georgia Tech and Auburn, but Georgia Tech on a drive at their own 49-yard line. 2nd and 7. Lee is in motion. They'll give it to the fullback. That's Malcolm King, the sophomore from Americus, Georgia, into Auburn territory for the first time today. Andre Bruce, number 93, was in on the stop, along with Pat Thomas.
The Auburn coaching staff on defense really felt like, Mike, that Georgia Tech was not a sustained drive-oriented football team that they would have to take at the distance. They're starting at the 7-yard line. They've gobbled up the yards and the time, and I think that's a point that really will be in the confidence-building category for Georgia Tech.
Plus, it keeps Bo Jackson off the field.
Exactly.
Clock turning with 6:10 to go. First quarter. 3rd down, 3 yards to go. Dewberry on the option, lost the football. And Auburn looks like they have it in Tech territory. That's a mistake you do not see John Dewberry make very often, but he made it that time.
Well, he's out of his element a little bit. Running the option play is not what John Dewberry is really known for.
6 minutes to go, first quarter. We are scoreless. Georgia Tech and Auburn from Grant Field in Atlanta.
We can help put people together.
Hey, I got an idea.
AT&T can help your business grow.
For us at American Express, building one worldwide nerve center was a dream come true. Finding the communications and information systems that could grow with us might have been a nightmare. We chose AT&T. You don't trust your dream to just anyone.
Whether it's telephones, information systems, long-distance services, or computers.
The right choice, AT&T.
This fall, millions of people will change their antifreeze, but not their radiator hoses. It's an easy mistake to make because hoses can look good outside even when they're wearing out inside. So put in Quality Gates hoses the next time you change antifreeze. Because if your hoses go, your car won't.
Wednesday.
How much do you get?
For kids, it's on the house. A boy's father is caught between the law and the mob.
Dead men don't talk sense.
Where does the equalizer turn to even his odds?
The option play is a really high-risk offense to some degree. This time, John Dewberry doesn't have the experience of running the option play. This is the first time they've shown it. It's the counter option. He goes down the line. Andre Bruce, 93, strips him of the ball. He almost recovered it, and then the ball bounces away, and they give it up. There it is at the end of the play. Gerald Williams falls in the ball.
Auburn with its 3rd possession of the ball game, and A.G., the fullback, goes straight up the middle, got maybe a yard. Georgia Tech's defense has been tough this year, especially giving up points. They rank 8th in the country, allowing only 12.4 points a game. And on total defense, they're giving up 301.8 yards a game. That is 20th in the country. Auburn's defense, incidentally, is 10th. This is 2nd and 8. 2 wide receivers. They'll run out of the eye. Parks is the tight end, and Washington wants to throw under pressure. Floats it sideline. Rutland had it right in his hand and dropped it. Reggie Rutland had the ball, hit him in the chest. The pass was intended for Trey Gaines, but that one was way underthrown. And look at Rutland shake his head.
So many times in any aspect of sport, you have a tendency where you know you're going to put it away. You're going to get the slam dunk. You're going to drive it to the baseline in tennis, whatever the sport might be. You're so ready for it, and then all of a sudden you choke on it. And that's exactly what happened.
Reggie Rutland wondering how he could have missed that one. 3rd down, 8 yards to go. And they'll give it to Agee, the fullback. He'll get 2 and be way short of the 1st down. And that Georgia Tech Black Watch defense has held again. Ralph Malone, number 95, made the stop on the junior from Maplesville, Alabama.
Georgia Tech is playing with the intensity that the coaches really felt like they would. That is never a problem when you're playing against a highly ranked team or a team that has a prolific runner to get ready for it. Sometimes, I think Rutland's case, it was the over-emotion, the over-anticipation of maybe getting the ball.
Colbert comes in to punt. That's Corey Collier, number 25, waiting in his own 10-yard line. Last time, Colbert was able to put the ball out of bounds at the 7. We'll see if he goes for the corner again. And he may have gotten another one. And the official will mark it at the 14, between the 14 and the 15-yard line, and Georgia Tech will start from there. So once again, the Ramblin' Wreck will not have good field position. 4:29 to go, first quarter. We're still scoreless.
When you're looking for more in a car, reach for the stars. Introducing the all-new 1986 Toyota Celica GTS, totally redesigned to give you more. A front-wheel drive car that truly handles like a sports car. Let the electronically fuel-injected 16-valve twin-cam dazzle you. Let its 135 horsepower move you. The Toyota Celica, a star is born, more like a legend.
Who could ask for anything more? Toyota.
Test pilot Chuck Yeager for AC Delco.
Up here, power when you need it can save your neck. When you get back down to your car, it helps too. Today's smaller engines need extra firepower from a spark plug, and AC delivers. If you could look inside your engine, you'd see an AC spark plug delivering up to 30,000 volts, firing 30 times a second. Firepower when you need it from AC.
Get rebates now on AC spark plugs.
Never wait for trouble.
Mount Hood, Oregon and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. Mount Hood means the best summer skiing in America. And Old Milwaukee means a great beer. Cold, crisp Old Milwaukee beer and smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light.
There's nothing like the flavor of a special place and Old Milwaukee beer.
Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light.
Man, it doesn't get any better than this.
0-0. First quarter from Atlanta, Georgia. 4 minutes and 29 seconds to go. First quarter. Georgia Tech pinned deep in its own territory once again at the 14-yard line. John Dewberry, the quarterback. That's Davenport, number 26 in motion. Dewberry fumbled again. And it looks like he got it back. John Dewberry fighting with the nose guard, Harold Hallman, trying to recover that fumble, and there is a flag down.
Hallman jumped off sides.
It makes the handoff a little tough.
Yeah, especially when he's in your backfield.
And has you around the throat.
Here's the end of the play. Hallman really lunged forward before the ball was snapped.
Encroachment on the defense. First down and 5.
Watch Mr. Hallman inside number 94. He's through the line of scrimmage and almost, he wanted to take the handoff from Mr. Dewberry.
Well, he's quick, but he's not that quick.
Yeah, really. I mean,
Hallman, a member of the Marine ROTC at Auburn, and they say he plays the way the Marines go after an island. First and 5. This is Mays trying to get outside. He has room. Across the 30 to the 34-yard line. First down for Georgia Tech, and it was Ben McCurdy, number 52, who had to make the tackle after a 14-yard carry for Jerry Mays.
Today we'll see a lot of sweep plays and variations from both sides of the ball, both Auburn and Georgia Tech. This time Jerry Mays, number 20, the freshman, he sets up his opportunity. Watch him give it an inside fake, then break outside. Really stretches the defense and stretches those lanes of pursuit by being able to create an opportunity, then break again.
Mays comes out of the ball game, and number 25, Corey Collier, comes in. This is Davenport in motion, who threw a good block on the last play. King, the fullback, tripped up as he crossed the 35 to about the 36-yard line. And getting up off the bottom of the pile is Andre Bruce.
Sorry, Mike. One of the things that Georgia Tech is doing right now, they're changing the strength of the formation almost in every play. And what they want to do is take the emotional aspect out of Auburn's defense, make them be very basic in their adjustments and their coverage. You can't play real emotional when you're a little bit confused.
And this is the defense that held Ole Miss to a total of 9 yards. Total offense. Collier on a little swing. 40, 41, what a shot he took. Tom Powell and Kevin Porter, and Powell is as good as there is at a free safety, and he nailed Corey Collier.
What happens, Auburn gets tied up inside, thinking it's going to cross the middle. Then all of a sudden, real quick to Collier on the outside. They're really trying to stretch this Auburn defense, get them where they cannot really be predictable. Georgia Tech, it's very difficult on a computer run to figure out just what they do. They change their tendencies up so much.
Third down, 2 yards to go from the Tech 42. Jerry Mays back in the ballgame, very close to the first down yardage. Had to get just across the 43-yard line. Stopped by Gerald Robinson, the left end.
Let me see what we got.
253-pound senior.
Bring it in, Mike. It's going to be a first down.
They'll measure for the first down. You might have heard the official saying it looks like it's a first down, but let's measure. There's Pat Dye on the sideline. And it is a first down by the length of the football for Georgia Tech. And you can hear the reaction from the mainly partisan Georgia Tech crowd here at Grant Field. Football is back in Atlanta because of that man, Bill Curry. First and 10, Georgia Tech. They have been in Auburn territory once, but that's when Dewberry fumbled on the action play. Fullback Mack hitting the backfield. May have lost a yard on that one, and Tracy Rocker went right over the top of center Andy Hearn.
He was stopped by number 74, Tracy Rocker.
This is what the defensive people are seeing in terms of the inside play. Georgia Tech trying to stretch them both sides, inside, kind of a crossbuck type play, and there's no way they're going to go anywhere with Tracy Rocker in the middle. Bracken, Hearn, and Thomas unable to keep that front line out of their backfield.
Minute and a half left in the first period. We're scoreless. 2nd and 11. And Dewberry to throw against a straight four-man rush over the middle to his tight end. That's Massey at the 30 to the 27-yard line. Robert Massey, the sophomore from Tifton, Georgia. He and Mannion, the other tight end, have shown that ability to get open, especially down the middle. And Dewberry laid it in there.
In the first series of the ball game, Dewberry threw 3 passes over the receiver. A little high-strung, overly emotional. Right in between the gap, you've got to force Powell, Arthur Johnson, the free safety and strong safety. You split them, and that's exactly what happened. Massey's got the great tight end hands, ability to go across the middle.
A 30-yard gain, 1st and 10 at the 27. King plows his way forward to about the 25-yard line. But Auburn very tough in the middle of that defense.
If Georgia Tech expects to win the ball game today, John Dewberry will have to be a star in the game. He will have to complete more passes like that. He will have to keep Auburn's defense out of tempo with what they normally want to do. He's going to have to pull them out of their character.
Second down, 8 yards to go with 30 seconds to go in the quarter. 2 tight ends in the ballgame for Georgia Tech. Lee, the flanker, he's the man in motion. Collier trying to get outside. 20. Down to about the 17-yard line. Very close to another first down. Ben McCurdy made the tackle. Yards for Corey Collier. He and the freshman Jerry Mays alternating at tailback and doing a great job of it.
Collier really gives Georgia Tech more power. When you get inside the 20-yard line, you become a little bit more conservative. We'll
return after this message and a word from your local station.
We're not a company, but we'll give you a chance to work where there's always a challenge. We'll give you opportunities to learn, to develop, to perfect skills that you thought were beyond your reach. We'll help you build a career that can reward you for the rest of your life. We're not a company, we're your country. We're the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines. We're the Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
Not so very long ago, the average four-cylinder engine looked something like this. But these days, four-cylinder engines look a little more like this. That's why we developed new Valvoline 4-Guard motor oil, specially formulated to protect today's harder-working, more complex four-cylinder engines. And it won't break down, even after 7,500 miles. Times have definitely changed. So maybe it's time to change your oil to new Valvoline 4-Guard.
The first-place Cowboys renew their heated rivalry with the Eagles, or see the Redskins take on the Giants among the regional games tomorrow on CBS Sports.
This is CBS.
Night after night, in city after city, more and more experienced travelers are discovering there really is someone you can count on for consistent comfort, consistent value. At La Quinta Motor Inns, you always get a nice, comfortable room, free Showtime cable TV, free local calls, outdoor pool, and rates lower than the hotels across the street. La Quinta Motor Inns. Consistent comfort, consistent value.
Mom and Dad were young back then,
full of hopes and dreams and plans.
Jeannie and I came along in their lives. Oh, we sure had some good times then. Through the years, things keep changing,
but one thing keeps right on remaining.
Pride runs in the family at your Ed Boyle's family of dealers.
Atlanta this week, tonight at 7.
Just starting the second quarter at Grant Field in Atlanta, Georgia Tech with the first scoring threat of the ball game. 3rd and 1 from the Auburn 18-yard line. And Dewberry with a play-action fake. He'll keep it and get the first down as he dives forward inside the 17-yard line. Right now, let's go to New York for a college football update.
Mike, Penn State trailing, scored with 1:53 left on a pick play. John Schaefer to Steve Smith. That put them up 24-20. There's less than a minute to play, and Penn State keeps winning those close ones. Let's go back to Mike and Steve.
Joe Paterno is doing a lot with a team that most people didn't think was going to be undefeated at this part of the season.
Well, Coach Paterno is, you know, he's been wrapped a little bit hard the last couple of years. So
they say even his posters aren't selling well up there. His life-size cutouts. 1st and 10, Georgia Tech at the 16-yard line. Collier right side. Good balance, got him to the 14-yard line, but no more as Kevin Porter out of Warner Robins, Georgia, the left corner, came up to hit him hard.
He was stopped by number 3, Kevin Porter.
There's John Davis, number 65, trying to get something outside for Collier. Yards get a little bit tougher inside the 20. You have to take a little bit more chances on defense, and offensively, you generally tend to be a little more conservative.
This is the 11th play of a Georgia Tech drive that started at its own 15-yard line. Dewberry, now he wants to go the other way. Inside the 10 and pushed out of bounds by Kevin Porter at the 7-yard line. Well, they don't draw him up that way, but it worked.
I think it showed the athletic ability of John Dewberry. The play was a total disaster. That's one of those oh my plays when you come down the line of scrimmage and you realize the option play is not the play you should have called, but you've got to be creative. You've got to be impromptu, and that's exactly what happened. And then Dewberry showed his talent by being able to put a move on Porter and to turn a loss into a slight gain.
Dewberry capable of running the ball. He's shown that already in this one. 3rd and a yard for Georgia Tech. Again, 2 tight ends, and they'll split the backs. King and Mays, and Dewberry wants to throw. Got a man wide open. Mays! Touchdown, Georgia Tech! Jerry Mays with the first receiving touchdown of his career. He has thrown to, by the way, on the option pass. But that one had to be sweet for him. Thomas Palmer, out of Dewberry's hold, will try to add the extra point. And Georgia Tech is going to have to burn one of its timeouts on a point after play. And you bet Bill Curry will not be happy about that. I think they only had 10 men on the field.
In football, so many times we have the statistical line for turnovers, and yet those type of mistakes are so crucial in a ball game. And at the end of a ball game, the coaches will remember, boy, if we ran out of timeouts in a particular period or something, those type of things really eat on you as a coach.
Here's Dewberry, who got his 7th touchdown pass of the season on the little 7-yard toss to Jerry Mays. And it has been all Georgia Tech in this ball game. They have totally taken away the momentum from Bo Jackson and Auburn. This is Thomas Palmer. Kicking has been something of a sore point for Georgia Tech this year. David Bell, who had such a great season in 1984, has a leg injury, and Palmer has taken over as the kicker. Had no problem with points after 12 out of 12, but has had some trouble with field goals. Good snap. Dewberry puts it down. And the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech will take a 7-0 lead over Auburn.
What happens is you begin to stretch the defense again. You put pressure on the perimeter people. Now they've got a very tough decision. Do you come forward, rush, or do you try to drop back in the pass? Bruce was out of position. He did not pick up Mays out of the backfield. It resulted in a touchdown for Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech on top of Auburn, 7-0. We'll be back with more of the second quarter in a moment.
Introducing the 1986 front-wheel drive Family Camry from Toyota, the car that gives you more headroom than any other compact, and more hip room and leg room than many compact cars. That means the Family Camry has more room for a rock group or a group of rocks. The Town Council of Sleazac, Michigan, with the mayor's dog thrown in, 42 gas balloons, 2 sets of identical twins, plus a man named Murray. The Family Camry from Toyota.
Who can ask for anything more?
When it's freezing cold and the sirens blow and the mercury's down to 20 below, you don't need problems, you gotta go. That's why America goes with Prestone.
A fresh fill of Prestone 2 antifreeze fights freeze up and rust up too. A radiator could look this bad after just 10,000 miles of driving on weak, neglected antifreeze, while the Prestone radiator looks this good. Get the Prestone difference.
America goes and goes and goes with Prestone.
The year's top marathon field, including Olympic champion Joan Benoit, is expected in Chicago for America's Marathon tomorrow on CBS Sports.
Georgia Tech on the scoreboard first, a 7-0 lead over Auburn, and Jerry Mays, number 20, is the young man who caught the touchdown pass from John Dewberry to put the underdog Yellow Jackets on top. And now they'll kick it away. Fullwood is the deep man standing at his goal line. He'll take it 4 yards deep and bring it out. Fullwood bouncing off tacklers. And Palmer, the kicker, is the man who has to push him out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Fullwood had been averaging 18 yards a kick return, and he broke a big one that time of 39 yards.
It's rather difficult to believe, but Brent Fullwood is considered a tougher runner to bring down than Bo Jackson by the coaches and by the defensive staff at Auburn. They've had to practice against him because of his power, his proud running style. He really puts the intimidation.
13:33 to go first half. It's Georgia Tech on top of Auburn by a touchdown.
The Florida Everglades and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. The Everglades means airboating, as close as you can get to flying without leaving the ground. And Old Milwaukee means a great beer. Cold, crisp Old Milwaukee beer and smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light.
There's nothing like the flavor of a special place in Old Milwaukee beer.
Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light.
Hey guys, it doesn't get any better than this.
The Kemper Cavalry. Why do so many people trust their auto and home insurance to Kemper?
First accident forgiveness.
Kemper Total. Repair or replacement value coverage from my new car, as long as I own it.
Guaranteed renewal for good drivers 55 and over.
Compare Kemper's loyal protection with anyone. We don't have to toot our own horn. Once you compare Kemper, you'll ride with us.
13:33 to go in the first half. Auburn with the football at its own 35-yard line. Down 7-0. And Bo Jackson on the toss. And that is what has happened to him this entire ball game. He has been swarmed by the Georgia Tech defense. Ricardo Ingram, 47, 93, Ted Roof, and you will see Roof in there all the time.
Don Lindsay, the defensive coordinator for Georgia Tech, really felt like that what he wanted to accomplish this week in practice was that for Georgia Tech to come into the ball game and play loose. Do not be intimidated by Auburn's great offense. So far, they've not been at Georgia Tech. 121 yards on offense to Auburn's one-third of that type, or one-fourth of that production.
They have been laying in wait for Bo Jackson. He's trying to get outside. Look at that speed. Jackson, 50. Cuts it back to the Georgia Tech 28-yard line. And no matter how many times you bring him down at the line of scrimmage, if you relax for a second, it's see you later.
There are two philosophies to how to stop the pitch play or the sweep play. One is to bounce him outside. This is not the nature of Georgia Tech. This is not what they wanted to do, but they do. If you bounce him outside, you better have the interior speed to get to the outside. Georgia Tech does not possess that speed. They've got to force Bo Jackson inside on the sweep play if they want to be successful.
With that 20-yard carry, and here's where he stepped out of bounds. Well, that's a good call. Right on the sideline, so they'll mark it at the Georgia Tech 41-yard line. It is a first down, however, for Auburn. Following Agee, this is Brent Fullwood in to give Jackson a little breather, and he crosses the 40 down to about the 39-yard line. And it was Mark Pike on the stop.
Pat Swilling really is an outstanding player. He's always generally to the tight end side. This is the open side because they're in a wide set. Swilling just having to pursue the best defensive player on their football team. He's always going to be the point of attack.
He's a load at 245, a defensive end. Second down, 7 yards to go. Fullwood is in at tailback. Jackson gets a breather. Washington to throw, and it's blocked. Knocked down by Ken Parker, the defensive tackle, who had an interception and a blocked field goal a week ago. Was the ACC Defensive Lineman of the Week, and he just stuck those big paws up there and stuffed it.
Parker's been the most consistent player. Watch him, 84. He's a former tight end, so had he caught the ball, he would have known what to do with it. There he is on the left side, number 84. Gets his big paws up, as you said, and the ball, Pat Washington throws it more in a direct line because he's a strong-arm quarterback, very little trajectory, and Parker had a chance to knock it down.
Washington now 0 for 3 in the passing department. And he's back to throw again under a blitz. He'll run out of there. 30. If he didn't step out of bounds, it's a touchdown, but he did step out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Tough break for Auburn and a great break for Georgia Tech because Washington just set sail.
Boy, I tell you, as a quarterback, you get a chance to break into a seam or a crease like that, you do not run out of bounds. There's no reason. He just lost his mental concentration. There's no reason to run out of the bounds in this particular situation. He's got the coverage beat. No one's in pursuit. He just swings it wide. There's no reason. That's a critical mistake. I guess he's so excited he thought he was going to score. Choked on it.
It's not what you expect from a senior, and that's why he's in there. 1st and 10, Auburn trying to even this ball game up. And it's Bo Jackson back into the ball game. Breaking tackles, driving inside the 10. Holy cow, what a run by Bo Jackson. Finally stopped Ivory Lee, the nose guard, had to chase him down from behind. Just so strong, Steve.
Why Bo Jackson will win the Heisman Trophy is because of runs just like this, because he sets up his own opportunities. Watch this. He will get the ball. Now, he creates a seam, a crease. There doesn't look like there's much there, but he's able to use his head, go forward, power, his acceleration, and his vision.
1st and goal from the 8-yard line. Jackson, he's got some room on this one and is down to the 4. Agee, an excellent lead blocker, number 30, the fullback. He had 22 knockdowns against Southwestern Louisiana. That means he puts the other guy on the ground. Agee, a junior from Maplesville. Had a big run a week ago against Florida State when they were concentrating on Bo Jackson, and he just cracked it up the middle. Jackson now 10 carries, 59 yards. Second and goal from the 4. Agee. That's what happened a week ago. Wherever Bo Jackson goes, it looks like 10 men go with him, and there was nobody home to take on Agee. Seven to 6, Georgia Tech by 1 with 10:50 to go in the first half. And Chris Knapp will come on to try to tie it up. And does.
Tommy Agee started since his freshman year. He's a junior. He's a wishbone fullback. Watch, everybody is thinking outside. They missed the tackle. They've got to put him away because they're concentrating on the outside. Only one man had a chance to make the play on him, and he goes into the end zone. Here it is again. The outside man, I can't really tell who it was that missed the tackle. Did not wrap him up. With Auburn's backs, you've got to be an extremely sure tackler. 7-7.
10 minutes and 50 seconds to go from Grant Field in Atlanta. Back with more in a moment.
Who's ready to unleash the most powerful small 4x4 ever to beat up a mountain? Who's ready to unchain more horsepower than any small 4x4 ever? Who's introducing the first 4x4 gas turbo in America? Toyota's who? The 1986 Toyota 4x4 Turbo. With all-new high-track independent front suspension for even more comfort. It's the who's who in 4x4s.
Who could ask for anything more? Toyota.
Real meat tea and burgers go nice. Real meat tea and tacos go nice. Chicken goes nice. Salads go nice with real meat tea on ice.
Riuniti has the taste that goes great with all your favorite foods. A taste that makes Riuniti the world's best loved imported wine.
Everything's nice with Riuniti on ice. Riuniti, Riuniti.
The Big Ten race is hot and getting hotter. The Ohio State Buckeyes will face the Golden Gophers of Minnesota in college football next Saturday on CBS Sports.
Auburn has come from behind to tie up Georgia Tech at 7 apiece with 10:50 to go in the first half. Auburn to kick it away. It's Chris Johnson kicking to Collier and Mays. And it's Mays at the goal line. Has a seam. Jerry Mays pulled down at the 36, and they pulled him down with the face mask. A big return for the little freshman from Thompson, Georgia, who caught the touchdown pass earlier.
Mike, on all the film that I watched of Jerry Mays, it has an unbelievable, uncanny ability to really break tackles. You cannot get, for a great back, you can't get the great hit on him, and that's what he did on the return.
Here's the call.
5-yard penalty, face mask on run back on the defense. First down.
Crowd was booing because they wanted 15 on that one.
He gets a good wall in front of him, and what happens, he starts to find that little seam or crease and uses his speed and cuts back. Just no one's able to get a direct hit on him. There's the penalty. Pat Thomas pulled him down by the face mask.
First and 10 from the 42. Dewberry under pressure, can't get rid of it, and will be chased out of bounds for a loss. And a flag goes down for a late hit. The Toyota Leadership Award is presented weekly to a team member who's been singled out by his athletic department and faculty advisor for his team contributions, grades, and citizenship. Today's game winners are Rob Schuler of Auburn and Ted Roof of Georgia Tech. Toyota will donate $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund. I will check the penalty for you, and this too will go against Auburn, and this one will be for 15 yards. Here's the call from C.C. Daly.
Dead ball, personal foul, hitting out of bounds. First down. Thank you.
Bill Curry looking on as his team crosses into Auburn territory again at the 47-yard line. 10:35 to go first half. And those Auburn mistakes on penalties are starting to add up. Dewberry gives it to King, his fullback. Had a little hole up the middle, gets to about the 42-yard line before he's shoved back. Auburn's defense very tough up the middle. Andre Bruce is in on the stop. Along with Alex Dutchak. He's number 80 checking in for the first time. 2nd and 5, Georgia Tech. The tight end, number 40, Mannion, switches to the near side, and they'll send Davenport in motion. Mays, again, trying to get outside. Not this time. Nice play by Arthur Johnson, the strong safety, who just played it the way you're supposed to. Take a look at some other scores around the country so far as we get a late start here in Atlanta. And here's the big one, Michigan and Iowa, 0-0 second quarter. Michigan defense hasn't been tough or anything this year. Tennessee beats Alabama 16-14. Number 20 over number 15. Nebraska also a winner by 8 over Missouri, closer than most people expected. Florida swamped Southwestern Louisiana. 3rd and 4, Georgia Tech from the Auburn 41. Here comes the blitz on Dewberry, and they got him from behind. And it's Pat Thomas, the defensive right end. Dewberry never saw him and never had a chance. A loss of 10 on the play, and they'll have to punt it away.
Auburn did not want to come in and have to blitz against John Dewberry. They wanted to be able to use their 4- and 5-man rush, and this time Pat Thomas really uses, the coaches say he's 4'6", but his quickness seems to be so much more impressive on film.
Mike Snow, who's averaging 40.9 yards a kick, is in to punt it away. And Trey Gaines is deep to receive. And Snow knocks the air out of it. And it will be down inside the 5 by Georgia Tech's special team. Auburn has been able to put them deep twice, and Georgia Tech returns the favor. They'll spot it at the 1. 8:19 to go in the half. We're tied 7-7, Auburn and Tech.
Looking for something more in a car, but the cost of keeping it on the road hangs over it like a dark cloud? Introducing a ray of sunshine, the 1986 Toyota Tercel. It has the lowest operating cost of any car in America. It's Toyota's lowest priced car. It has more room than any subcompact and front-wheel drive. The Toyota Tercel. You won't get soaked.
Look at us for anything more. Toyota.
Who's gonna be at the Silver Bullet tonight? Sipping on a cold Coors Light, partying right. Hello there. Who's sure to make the scene on a Coors Light Halloween? Come on down to the Silver Bullet. See who greets you with the Silver Bullet.
Who was that? I don't know, but he left this silver bullet.
There's no slowing down with the Silver Bullet tonight.
Coors Light beer.
Tonight,
You're causing an awful lot of static, Stringfellow Hawk.
a mysterious woman is Hawk and Dom's only hope to save Archangel.
If we don't find him soon, he's a dead man.
On Airwolf.
8:19 left in the first half of play. Auburn pinned back at its own 1-yard line in time for that big offensive line to try to move it out. This is Jackson. He slips and falls inside the 5, and there's a flag down back at the 1-yard line. And it's offsides against Georgia Tech, and that immediately gets Auburn out of a hole. We'll make it 1st and 5 from the 6-yard line.
Encroachment on the defense. 1st down and 5. Repeat.
Check some other scores for you. And we have a tie. Georgia tied by Vandy, 13-13. There's the Nebraska score again. A lot of trouble with Missouri. Ohio State in the game you saw earlier over Purdue, 41-27. It was much closer than that. And Tennessee beating Alabama by 2. 1st and 5, Auburn. That's Middleton, the H-back in motion. Bo Jackson trying to get outside. No dice. Lost the ball. I think they'll rule it down. The ground cannot cause a fumble. And that's what they'll call it. They'll say Jackson hit the ground before the ball came loose. Makes you hold your breath if you're a coach.
It just depends on which side of the field you're on.
I think both of them are holding their breath.
Well, that may be true, too. Now, on films that I saw on Bo Jackson, it appears like any great back, he is human. You know, if he's
Might
able
get some
to
argument on that, though.
Well, no. If you force him inside, he goes down. If you outman him, he goes down.
2nd and 3. Jackson gets close to the 9-yard line. It will be shy of a first down again.
And if you tackle him around the ankles, he goes down. I mean, that's one of the things that the coaching staff, they are so impressed with Bo in the sense that a lot of people have already put an S on his shirt, you know, for Superman. But the point is that Bo has that capability. He's very human, and he certainly is a great running back. But the point is that you just watch him play. He's patient all day long, and all of a sudden he breaks the big run, makes a big play.
Oh, we saw in the first quarter that Black Watch defense had contained him very, very well, and then one man missed a tackle and he was gone. That's right. 3rd down, 2 yards to go. Big play here. Auburn at its own 9. Middleton, the man in motion. They'll fake it in Washington. Being chased by Jurgensen and got by him and has the first down. Finally knocked out of bounds over there by Mark Hogan, the Bandit. Good play by Washington, and Paul Jurgensen just didn't have the speed to chase him down. But there's a flag down, and the preliminary indication is against Auburn, and Pat Dye doesn't like that. And it's a clip. And you just saw Pat Dye talking with one of the officials, and he told the Auburn players to get back from the sideline.
Right here. 23-yard line, 11 and a half. 11 and a half.
Yeah, it'd be half the distance to the goal line from the 23, so Auburn not out of trouble yet. Black Watch defense has acquitted itself pretty well against a very veteran and tough offensive line for the Tigers. Here's the call.
Clipping on the offensive team. Repeat, 3rd down.
Jeff Parks, number 82, appears to be the culprit. Pushing right there. Yes, he's pushing on Malone. Let's see, who is it? Who is he pushing on?
It's Ricardo Ingram, I believe, 47.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was Ricardo. That was the clip.
This is Fullwood into the ballgame at tailback to give Bo Jackson a breather, and he is up to the 16. Check some other scores for you around the country. Notre Dame beats Army 24-10. And when was the last time anybody said Notre Dame knocking off Army was an upset? Here's Pitt over Rutgers, 38-10.
Or a crucial victory.
That's right. West Virginia beats Boston College. Navy crushes Lafayette that game in the 4th quarter. West Virginia now 4-4-1. And what an upset there. Virginia Tech over Virginia. This is Agee, the fullback. No chance. Ted Roof a hold of that left ankle and would not let go. It'll bring up 3rd and about 5 yards to go.
Auburn has had success offensively, Mike, when they've been able to go outside and test the speed of Georgia Tech's defense. They do not have the speed to play an outside, sideline-to-sideline game. As long as Auburn continues to go inside, that's got to make Don Lindsay, the defensive coordinator, a little bit more excited.
There's Roof.
That's the kind of play that Georgia Tech is inviting. They want you to come inside.
5:09 to go first half. Tied at 7. 3rd and 4 for the Tigers from their own 18. Washington to throw. He lost the football. Now he's got it back, and he's in a lot of trouble. Cleve Pounds takes him out of bounds at the 7-yard line. Well, I thought Pat Washington may have gotten away with one there. He lost it. It bounced right back to him. but he lost 12 yards.
I'll tell you what, if I were Pat Washington, tomorrow they'll watch the film of this game. That'll be a horror film for him. The play it's supposed to be 1, 2, 3, throw the ball. He's got his hand up to throw. The ball is batted down away from him. Now, the impromptu play, and he can't do anything with it. And he's finally pulled down.
Lewis Colbert, standing near the end line, will have to punt it away. And Gary Lee is waiting at the 50. Collier with a beautiful punt. And Lee signals fair catch, driven all the way back to his own 42-yard line. What a gorgeous kick by the nation's leading punter. 52 yards. Timeout with 4:47 left. We're still tied in Atlanta.
The Patrick Ewing era begins next Saturday on CBS Sports.
All the right parts in all the right places. Napa's putting smiles on American faces.
Napa means auto parts. So dependable they may be the best part of your car. More than 100,000 parts for import and domestic vehicles are available through over 6,500 Napa stores all across the country. Or get Napa quality at garages and service outlets where you see the Napa sign. Wherever you go, Napa's the one.
All the right parts in all the right places. Napa.
A lot of homeowners' insurance policies won't cover this kind of damage. Nationwide's Elite Homeowners Policy will. The Elite policy doesn't cost much more than standard homeowners policies, but it covers things you never dreamed of.
Bill, are you watering the lawn?
Uh-huh. Elite Homeowners Insurance, part of Nationwide's blanket protection.
Nationwide is on your side.
Mike Patrick along with Steve Davis. Nice to have you with us this afternoon from Grant Field in Atlanta, Georgia, where Georgia Tech and Auburn are tied at 7 with 4:47 to go in the half. Dewberry, naked reverse. Throws, and it's complete to Gary Lee at the Auburn 39-yard line. Kevin Porter, number 3, was there, but not close enough. And Gary Lee has been Georgia Tech's big play receiver.
John Dewberry had all the luxury of time that he needed. They had Arthur Johnson unable to put any pressure on him, and all he had to do is find Gary Lee, 33, that had pushed deep on Porter and then came back for the football.
1st and 10 Yellow Jackets. That's Davenport in motion. They'll give it to the fullback. That's Joel Carter in there for the first down, down to the 35-yard line. Pat Thomas, who had a big sack earlier, makes the stop. Carter, a senior, doesn't play a whole lot. Next Saturday on CBS, more college football action. Heisman hopeful Keith Byers of Ohio State takes his show on the road to Minnesota to go against Lou Holtz and the Golden Gophers. Next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern on CBS Sports. Right here at 2nd and 7 for Georgia Tech at the Auburn 35. Mays, the man in motion, and Dewberry wants to go deep. What a catch! Gary Lee! Holy cow, what a catch! He swiped that ball from Jimmy Warren. Three yards, and Dewberry just sort of hung it out there.
If you can find 45 right there, number 45, Jimmy Warren sees that he's got a great opportunity to intercept the ball. So he's waiting on the football. He doesn't go for the ball. You got to not be lazy or deliberate. He was waiting. You got to see it and go catch it. That's why Lee was able to make the catch.
1st and goal, Mays inside the 1. Hit hard by Arthur Johnson, the strong safety.
Jimmy Warren on that pass, on that previous play, was just sitting back waiting for it. When you see that it's going to be a little bit behind the receiver, go for the football, because all of a sudden, you know, Gary Lee's in a position he sees is going to be short. He makes the adjustment and steals the ball out of a waiting Jimmy Warren's hands.
Gary Lee sure didn't give up. He's had 4 touchdown grabs this year. Not the best pass you'll see Dewberry throw, but Gary Lee turned it into a great one. 2nd and goal from the 1. King is the fullback, Mays the tailback. 2 tight ends. Mays, touchdown! What a hole they opened on the left left side, and Jerry Mays, the little guy at 5'7", walked right through.
When you run the sweep play, you create creases. Mays represents the sweep to the outside. You think outside, everybody's pushing outside. He goes inside for the touch.
The point after by Thomas Palmer is good, and Georgia Tech has regained the momentum 14-7 and has a sellout crowd on its feet.
Here again, watch everybody flowing to the outside. They see Mays has the ball. He gets walled off inside and is able to go right through the crease for the touchdown.
Two of the Auburn defenders tackle the fullback, Malcolm King.
Excellent block by Hearn, number 50, to open him up and create that little opportunity to go through and give them the 14-7 lead.
We're not a company, but we recognize potential. We develop it. We use it. We'll make sure that as your responsibility grows, so will you. As your ability for leadership grows, so will you. Working with us, you'll gain self-confidence, become a person with a future. We're not a company, we're your country. We're the Marines, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force. We're the armed forces. It's a great place to start.
Coors showed me how they do things different, all the way down the line. And in heat like this, that's important. Why? Well, heat headies up the taste of beer. Any beer. But if you went down to any Coors warehouse, this is what you'd see. Coors, stored cold. Now, Coors is the only one that can say that. It's expensive, kind of a hassle. But Coors distributors think it makes a difference. Right here, a difference worth tasting. Coors are the one.
On the NFL Today, a report on the Rams' big play defense. John Madden on what's happened to Lawrence Taylor. And Pete Rose on the World Series tomorrow on CBS Sports.
2 minutes, 44 seconds left in the first half from Atlanta, Georgia. Georgia Tech has taken a 14-7 lead over favorite Auburn. And Tech will kick it away. There's Jerry Mays getting a little medical attention on the sideline. Looked like he was working on his left hand. Here's a short pooch kick. And it's taken by Parks, the tight end, on the fair catch to 29. I don't know if that was intentional or not. It looked like it was. Tomorrow on the NFL Today, Herb Cross will have a look at the Rams' big play defense, the main factor in LA's 6-0 start this season. John Madden will explain to you why Lawrence Taylor has not been as effective this season as in others. Plus a look at the World Series with Pete Rose. That's all tomorrow on the NFL Today. Auburn, 1st and 10 at its own 29. They have no passing yards so far. They'll give it to Bo Jackson, cutting it back. Jackson ran right over Ricardo Ingram to reach the 44-yard line. Boy, he's strong. Hates to lift weights, too. Wonder what would happen if he did.
Well, we'd put an S on his shirt. Well, his leg strength is obviously one of the vital points that makes Bo Jackson. And I think the coaches also agree that it's his attitude, the way he's handled the pressure of the media, and the way he responds to the team. He's very much dedicated to the team goal.
Washington back to throw under pressure. Gets it away. It's incomplete. Had it in the hands of Scott Bolton, his split end, but Bolton couldn't hold it as Cleve Pounce came up to hit him.
That's one of the weak areas of Pat Washington's game. He really has an exceptionally strong arm. The problem is on those short passes where you need to take a little off the ball, he drives it so hard. The point of the ball is coming down at you. It's very difficult ball to catch, and he's 0-4 right now, so he needs to learn to take a little bit off of his strong arm when he throws the ball.
They put Washington into quarterback the last 2 ball games, and they have scored 100 points in those last 2 games. They had been playing musical chairs at quarterback before then. Washington back to throw, draw to Jackson, got room to run. Good tackle by Ingram, a member of that Black Watch unit who came up to get him at the 47-yard line, but he is so dangerous.
Bo Jackson has the ability. He's just like an option quarterback, Mike. He will take the sweep play one of 3 places, inside, middle, or outside. This time he starts to the middle, breaks it outside. He's just kind of scissoring through, finding his hole, his open area to get the yards out of the secondary.
Another good lead block from fullback Tommy Agee. Jackson now 87 yards on the day. He is the leading rusher of all time in Auburn football history. Only needed 16 yards coming in. Only needed 9 to hit 1,000 for the year. 1st and 10. Washington back to throw. Fullwood, he lost it. And that one was not Washington's fault. That was Fullwood's. A reminder, next Saturday from what should be a sold-out Madison Square Garden, CBS Sports presents Patrick Ewing's NBA debut. The New York Knicks host the Philadelphia 76ers. Ewing, perhaps the most celebrated player to join the league since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar arrived in 1969. And in the season opener, he'll face a tough test against Moses Malone and the 76ers next Saturday at 1 Eastern right here on CBS. Ewing against Malone. That'll be a war.
Anywhere Ewing goes, they're generally
That's right.
a war.
2nd and 10 for Auburn. Washington to throw again. Wants to throw the screen and does the full one, and he dropped it again. Now Washington is going to see Fullwood out there the next time, and he's not going to throw him the ball.
Well, that time Pat Washington really set up the screenplay extremely well, threw the ball very soft. I wonder if the sun might have had a little bit to do with the ability to catch the ball, the angle of the sun. But it was a soft ball. It was set up. Just fell right out of his arms, though, out of his hands.
3rd and 10 with 1:27 to go. And Miami leading Oklahoma 14-7.
That's the half. That's not so unpredictable, though.
No, you were saying it earlier. Here's the draw. Fullwood. He may not be able to catch it all that well, but he can sure run it. Incidentally, Auburn's tailbacks have not caught a pass this season. Maybe that's why. It'll be another first down for the Tigers with 1:17 to go after a 17-yard game.
What a luxury to have Bo Jackson and then having a Brent Fullwood to back him up, to be able to rest Bo when he gets a little bit tired, to keep him fresh in the ball game and give it to a runner, a junior, that's even tougher to tackle than Bo Jackson.
The clock running, we're approaching a minute. Washington wants to throw, completes it to his tight end Parks. Little dump over the middle. Roof is in there on the tackle, along with Hogan, the bandit back, number 36. First completion of the day for Pat Washington. He is 1 for 7.
Down the line of scrimmage, setting up. It's kind of like a little short option. Then it's a throwback pass.
51 seconds left in the half. It's still Georgia Tech by 7.
The one big question when it comes to trucks is who? Who gives you a powerful 2.4-liter engine? Toyota. Who gives you more payload than any truck in its class? Toyota. Who gives you 3-across seating? And who does it all still for only $59.98? The 1986 Toyota Standard Bed is who? The #1 selling small truck in America. Who else? Nobody. Who could ask for anything more? Toyota.
Out here, it's me alone against the course. But in the financial world, you need all the help you can get. You need the PaineWebber Army behind you.
Even golf legends can use some financial backup. PaineWebber is ready to roll, putting all its resources at your command. We believe the quality of life just might depend on the quality of your financial services.
Thank you, PaineWebber. Now that's the kind of army you want behind you.
Auburn University, located on the rolling plains of East Alabama, is the state's largest university and one of the nation's premier land-grant institutions. Auburn is making an impact in the region through assistance to industry and agriculture, as well as quality instruction. In the nation, through the Auburn connection to the U.S. space program, and as a leading research center for the Strategic Defense Initiative. And in the world, through the UN-sponsored food projects of the International Center for Allied Aquacultures. Auburn University, working toward a better future for all of us.
A pioneering spirit created a great institution 100 years ago. Today, Georgia Tech creates pioneers.
I wanted to be more than just an executive. I wanted to be a leader. And to provide myself the background to do that, I turned to Georgia Tech. As I look at things that I've been able to do since I left Georgia Tech, I don't take full credit. I give part of it to Tech.
The pioneers of tomorrow are at Georgia Tech today.
51 seconds to go, first half. Auburn driving, 2nd and 4, Georgia Tech 22. Washington, 1 of 7 in the air, trying to pass, throws, intercepted. That's Sammy Lilly to the 17-yard line. The ball underthrown, and Sammy Lilly right where he needed to be. His second interception of the season. There is a flag down. We'll check it for you. I think it's against Auburn. And it is. One happy young man there. Penalty is on the return, so Georgia Tech will have possession with 40 seconds to go.
Flipping, high to the interception, first down.
So many times when you're a rushing football team, this happens in a ball game where you're having a work against the restriction of time. They're trying to go to Parks. The tight end, Lilly, picks it off. The ball was poorly thrown. Turns the ball over.
Georgia Tech interested in only one thing, running out the clock and getting into the dressing room. Auburn with 2 timeouts left. See what they might do with them.
What happened, Auburn really needed a little bit more time to do what they do best, is run the football. They were forced to have to throw the ball, and Pat Washington is still, he's not a throwing quarterback. This is not a throwing offense, and they threw a bad ball, and it's intercepted and turns the ball over and stops the drive.
Clock running with 10 seconds to go, first half. Dewberry taking his time, and he'll just go down and kill it. And that'll be the end of the first half. And you can hear the crowd reaction in Atlanta. They have loved it. As Pat Dye leaves the field, trailing Georgia Tech 14-7. We'll be back at Grant Field in Atlanta right after these words.
Some of you are being asked to choose a long-distance phone company. If you don't choose, someone's going to choose for you. And you know how that could make you feel. So if AT&T's clear long-distance connections and full services are important to you, send in your ballot. AT&T Long Distance, for over 100 years. When you reached out, we were there. And you can keep it that way by making the choice yourself.
In my line of work, your insurance isn't on a piece of paper. It's up here, and it's in your equipment. With all the technology that's built into today's cars, I just don't trust mine to anything but AC filters. An AC oil filter can help protect your gasoline engine for up to 15,000 miles. An AC air filter, up to 30,000 miles. Never wait for trouble. Protect your car with AC filters.
Now get rebates on AC filters. Call 1-800-AC-DELCO for a participating dealer.
CBS Sports coverage of college football will continue after this word from your local station. This is CBS.
96 Rock. Atlanta's only rock and roll.
Money for nothing and your chicks for free.
96 Rock.
The Beatles.
Atlanta's pure rock and roll. The American spirit of rock and roll. 96 Rock. Pure rock and roll.
Today, the only way to stay ahead is to keep moving. And with Charles Evans' incredible team of dealerships, oh, how you can move. In all makes and models to meet your varied needs and tastes, because not everybody gets there by the same road. That's why Charles Evans has developed a family of dealerships, each designed to handle your road your way, like the newest Charles Evans BMW. Oh, there is one thing that's still the same, the service, quality, and value you've come to expect from Charles Evans. So as you move on, count on Charles Evans.
Now, a world of magic is in your hands.
Hey, stop! Dragon breath!
Panasonic presents Omnimovie, a camera and video recorder in one. Capture magic moments forever.
Get a close-up, Joe.
Yeah. Omnimovie uses full-size VHS tapes, plays Hollywood movies or your own.
Yes, right, Santa.
Don't miss a single Omnimovie magic moment from Panasonic, just slightly ahead of our time.
WAGA-TV, Atlanta.
CBS Sports presents the Prudential College Football Report, sponsored by the Prudential. offering a full range of insurance and financial services. The Prudential, the Rock. It's strong, it's on the move, it's bigger than life.
Welcome back to the College Football Report on CBS. I'm Jim Nantz along with Pat Hayden. We're at halftime and an upset in the making. Georgia Tech 7-up in front of Auburn. What do you think of that?
Well, you know, Don Lindsay is their defensive coordinator, has always done a good job against outstanding running backs. And also remember, Auburn has not been good on AstroTurf, 0-5 coming into today's game. And again, they continue to have problems on the AstroTurf.
All right, Pat, let's take a look at the top 10, including that big matchup between number 2 Michigan and number 1 Iowa. The Wolverines have moved in front 7-3. Controversy, though, in this game at Iowa City. The Hawkeyes thought they had a touchdown. It was taken away. Chuck Long rolls around and finds Scott Helverson in the back of the end zone. Was he in or out? The official says he was out of bounds, but the replay shows that Helverson had at least 1 foot down and maybe 2. Look at that. Back of the end zone, the Hawkeyes had to settle for a field goal. But right back after that, with the 3-0 lead to Iowa, Michigan's Jimmy Harbaugh rolls out, shuffle pass for the touchdown, and that's where we are right now. Michigan in front, 7-3 in the second quarter. That game just before halftime. Elsewhere in the top 10, Oklahoma is behind Miami of Florida 14-7, and the Sooners quarterback Troy Aikman has broken his leg, so it could be a double dose of bad news for the Sooners today. 4th-ranked Arkansas, 1-point lead over Texas at halftime. 5th-ranked Florida 45-0 over Southwest Louisiana. The Gators did not even score in the first quarter. They piled it on the final 3. Syracuse beaten by Penn State. What a game this was at the Carrier Dome. The final was 24-20. This touchdown put the Orangemen in front. Mike Ciano, 45-yard score, and it was 20-17. But Joe Paterno's team has won every game this year by 7 points or less. John Schaefer finds Steve Smith, 8-yard touchdown, and Penn State won it 24-20 to stay unbeaten on the year. Nebraska 28-20 over Missouri. Much tougher than anyone would have thought. The Cornhuskers were 30-point favorites. This is Dale Klein, the place kicker for the Huskers, who today had 7 field goals. Only one time did Nebraska crack the Tiger end zone. But Klein ties an NCAA record with 7 field goals, and the Huskers win it 28-20. BYU will meet New Mexico later on tonight. The Cougars with 1 loss on the year, but climbing right now in the polls. Also in the WAC, Air Force 14-13 over Colorado State. They have just started the third quarter of that game, and Air Force has booted a 60-yard field goal in that game.
All right, Jim, we have some other top 20 teams playing today. In a shootout in Columbus, Ohio State beat Purdue 41-27. Keith Byers was back, rushed for 106 yards. Jimmy Everett had 497 yards passing for the Boilermakers, but wasn't quite enough. Tennessee and Alabama in the SEC. Tennessee wins for the 4th straight over Alabama, 16-14. Tony Robinson got beat up all day, had to leave the game 3 separate times with injuries. Here you're going to see the kind of pressure he is under as he is sacked by Kurt Jarvis. He left the game with a knee injury to his right knee. His coach feels that he will not be back this season. Mike Shula for Alabama finds Bobby Humphrey for a 19-yard touchdown pass. That brought them to within 2, 16-14. Shula again tries to bring him back. This one is picked off by number 54, Dale Jones. And again, Tennessee wins their 4th straight over Alabama, 16-14. And in a surprise, Georgia and Vanderbilt tied in a final there, 13-13. UCLA trails Washington State 21-10. That is a surprise as well. That game is in the second quarter. And Notre Dame over Army. That breaks Army's 5-0 winning streak, 24-10. And in spite of that win, even though Notre Dame looked impressive, we're going to see Alan Pinkett. This is one of the reasons they did look impressive. Alan Pinkett became Notre Dame's all-time leading rusher. But in spite of that win, I think we're still going to see a new coach at Notre Dame next year.
You don't think Jerry Faust will be back, regardless if they win the rest of their games?
Well, the schedule is too tough. I don't think they will. But the administration is not going to force him out. If something happens, it's going to be his resignation.
All right, Pat. Wisconsin had beaten Northwestern 13 straight years. Until today, Northwestern a winner at Wisconsin, 17-14. The Wildcats win it by a field goal. Let's quickly get you some other games that are still in progress. Kansas winning over winless Kansas State by 31. Iowa State no match for Colorado. Colorado on their way of upping their record to 5-1 on the year. Augustana, the longest winning streak in the nation, 29 in a row, and they are winning by 6. It's not that easy. Milliken still in there in the 4th quarter. TCU and North Texas State, the Horned Frogs trailing by 7 in the 4th quarter. They've had no luck since the 6 players were kicked off the football team. Washington 10-7 on top of Oregon State. Make that now a change. Oregon State has gone in front, a surprise, ties. Second quarter, Beavers lead by 4. Stanford and USC just underway. The Trojans have a touchdown. They lead the Cardinal 7-0. Oregon 21-3 over California in a Pac-10 game. That's in the second quarter. And a final look at this wild one. 93 points scored. Colgate the winner, 49-44 against Princeton. Still ahead, Pat and I will look at some of this season's surprises in the Big Ten, and we'll continue with highlights and scores from around the country here on the College Football Report.
It's a jungle. That's how it feels when you're searching for life insurance. The natives don't speak your language. You feel lost, in the dark, scared. But there is a sign of civilization. With Prudential, your agent will explain things clearly and work with you until you have a piece of the rock you feel comfortable with. No wonder more people choose Prudential for life insurance than any other company. You'll feel right by the rock. Prudential Life Insurance.
Powerful new financial help is coming. The Rock, the Prudential, is now more than insurance. It's mutual funds, IRAs, stocks and bonds, new products and new ideas, as well as new forms of insurance. It's rock-solid financial help for us all. The Rock, the Prudential. It's strong, it's on the move, it's bigger than life.
Along with Pat Hayden back at our New York studios. You know, the team that really surprises me this year in the East is Rutgers. They opened up their season at Florida and tied the highly rated Gators 28-all. But since that time, they have dropped 5 games in a row, including a 38-10 drubbing at the hands of the Pittsburgh Panthers today. Elsewhere, West Virginia made it 6 straight over Boston College, 13-6. Navy 56-14 over Lafayette. Napoleon McCallum had 3 touchdowns. Yale 28-12 over Columbia. Harvard 17-7 over Dartmouth. And it was Brown 22, Cornell nothing for Cornell. They have now started their season 0-5, another team that has to be disappointed.
Jim, in the South, we have some good ACC matchups, including a game between interstate rivals, North Carolina and North Carolina State. Earl Winfield accounted for all the Tar Heels points, 2 touchdowns receiving and 1 rushing. They win 21-14. Maryland, their 13th straight ACC wins, 26-3 over Wake Forest. And Clemson evens their record at 3 with a 21-9 win over Duke. And in an upset, Virginia Tech beats Virginia 28-10 after trailing 10-0.
Boy, that surprises me. You know, back in the Midwest, in the Big Ten, Minnesota is tied for the lead in the Big Ten. We're going to be talking about that more later on here at halftime. Today, the Gophers 22-7 over Indiana. Illinois scored the final 23 points to beat Michigan State by 13. Bowling Green 23-18 over Central Michigan. Quarterback Brian McClure set an NCAA record for most career completions, breaking the mark of Duke's Ben Bennett. He also tied John Elway's mark of 200-yard passing games with his 29th career 200-plus passing game. And Rice, a winner for the 2nd straight week. They win by 2 points over Texas Tech. Baseball tonight, the World Series will get underway. The I-70 World Series, that is weather permitting. There is a 40% chance of rain at this time. John Tudor will start for the Cardinals. Danny Jackson on the mound for the Royals. And when we come back, Pat and I will assess the Big Ten and the SEC at midseason. You're watching the College Football Report on CBS, where the scores continue from across the country.
Some investors who thought oil was the only answer came up dry. They've seen that tying up all their money in banks isn't always in their best interest. And that following the takeover fad of the moment can lead to slim picking. More and more, the ambitious investor is following Prudential Bates, whose rock-solid investment strategy is leading the way to the future. Prudential Bates Securities. Follow a leader. Bugsy, stay.
Make sure your auto insurance is under control when your car's not. Have your Prudential representative give you a fast, free pro review of your coverage.
Are you covered? I don't know.
You'd know with a Prudential Pro Review. The right coverage is no accident.
Oh, Muggsy.
Get Get a Pro review from the Prudential and get a piece of the rock.
Nice boat.
In the first part of our doubleheader today, Ohio State and Purdue. Pat and I could not help but notice here from the studio that everyone at Ohio Stadium had a big smile on their face. And I think it was all because number 41 was back in there. Keith Byers for the Buckeyes. After being out for 5 weeks with that right foot, broken right foot, he was back in there, opened up the airways for Jim Carsados, who here gets the touchdown to Michael Anise. The Buckeyes led 14-0. But Jim Everett's an outstanding quarterback for Purdue. He threw for 497 yards and 2 touchdowns. This completion to Carter set up a score. They had the game all tied 27 apiece in the 4th quarter. So Earl Bruce called on his bread and butter. Keith Byers leaped in from the 1-yard line. He added another touchdown to make the final 41-27 for the Buckeyes. Earl Bruce was asked about the toughness of the Big Ten.
There's a lot of good football teams in the Big Ten. Naturally, when you look at Iowa, Michigan, and Minnesota that are undefeated in the Big Ten, right now they are, that's the challenge.
Now, about that Minnesota team, they did not complete a pass today. However, they rushed for over 340 yards. Valdez Baylor from 8 yards out got the Golden Gophers on the board 7-0. Later on a 4th and goal at the Indiana 2, the score 12-0. This was the clincher. Gary Couch takes it in, and that final was 22-7 for Minnesota over the Hoosiers. That makes them 5-1 now, the Gophers, and next week they'll be playing Ohio State, a game you'll see here on CBS. And what's incredible to me, Pat, is that going into the last weekend of October, Minnesota is still in the run for the Roses.
Well, as we look at the overall records of the Big Ten, what strikes me is the quality of the conference from top to bottom. You know, they're 24-6 in non-conference play, but the real test comes in bowl season, where they've been miserable the last few years, 1-5 a year ago. They want to make a statement, they're going to have to win some bowl games. Another
conference that is wide open right now and really has a lot of good teams is the Southeastern Conference.
Well, I think it's the toughest conference in the country. They are 23-5-3 against non-conference competition. Tough places to play there. That's what makes that conference interesting. LSU, Tennessee, Georgia. Tough to win on the road in the SEC.
Means we're in store for a great second half of the college football season. Coming up next, the start of the second half of the game, and you're watching the College Football Report here on CBS.
The Prudential College Football Report has been sponsored by The Prudential, offering a full range of insurance and financial services. The Prudential, the rock. It's strong, it's on the move, it's bigger than life.
Mike Patrick and Steve Davis back with you in Atlanta, where it's Georgia Tech over Auburn, 14-7 in front of a sellout crowd. And they have really enjoyed it. And I think, Steve, when you take a look at statistics, sometimes they can be deceiving. But I don't think these stats will be. This game's been dominated by Georgia Tech.
Well, I think one aspect that you never want to count out in college football is the emotional aspect. I think all the emotion was on Georgia Tech in terms of really coming in the ball game. They had everything to win. Bill Curry's looking for something to build a program from. There with the halftime stats, really nothing overly revealing in terms of the way the game has been played. But I think the obvious point is that you're not going to see this passing statistics of Auburn increase. And if you can keep them in a pressure situation, you take them out of the character of their ball game.
99 yards passing for Georgia Tech. And that has been the big difference in the statistics. Bo Jackson has had his, but that's the story so far. Can't stop Bo Jackson, but outside of that, Auburn has not had very much firepower.
Well, I really think that what they've done with Bo Jackson has been masterful. You know, he's not had that many big ball games, a big run in the ball game. Right. He's has a few good runs, but not any of those big back-breaking type runs. Here's the first touchdown of the ball game. It's to Jerry Mays, a 6-yard touchdown pass. What's impressive is that it was an 86-yard touchdown drive, 12 plays, 5 minutes and 49 seconds. Auburn really challenged them to do that. They don't think that they can sustain those long drives. Then Auburn came back and scored. Now Georgia Tech takes the lead on this 1-yard run by Jerry Mays. Again, Mays has represented the threat in terms of really twisting and turning and making the plays, and that put them ahead 14-7.
And we'll be back with more between Georgia Tech and Auburn from Atlanta right after this.
If you're ready for the pro-quality alternative to rakes and brooms, listen up. That's an easy starting echo you hear. That's an easy starting, easy handling echo you hear. And it'll make a pro out of you. I hear you. Take it from Dick Butkus. Only Echo has the Profire electronic ignition, and it's backed by a limited lifetime warranty. Visit your dealer today. There's bound to be an Echo in there.
Echo, first from the start.
Now, another way to spell relief. Use sodium-free Rolaids. Like regular Rolaids, it consumes all the acid required to bring millions 100% relief. Plus, it's rich in calcium. Regular Rolaids and use sodium-free Rolaids for 100% relief.
How many shicks can you get from one Schick disposable? How many does your disposable give you?
Mr. Goodwrench has the right tools available. Tools of the science of automotive service. Advanced, sensitive, accurate, strong and simple, or complex, like electronic eyes that probe the mysteries of your car. These are the tools that understand and fix. These are the tools of Mr. Goodwrench. And no one knows your GM car better. No one.
CBS Sports coverage of college football will continue after this word from your local station. This is CBS.
Crystal. Nothing looks like it. Nothing tastes like it.
Mom! Dad!
When you've got to have a Crystal, you've got to have a Crystal.
It's easy to build a tough truck. Real easy. All you gotta do is give it a 5-speed transmission, independent front suspension, steel-belted radials, welded double-wall bed, and a standard engine with power no other leading compact can beat. The hard part is doing it for a $59.99 sticker price. Only Nissan can do it. For a truck this tough, $59.99 is dirt cheap.
The name is Nissan.
The Falcons today, Sunday at noon.
CBS Sports presents college football. Sponsored by Chevrolet. It's 1986 at your Chevy dealers now. Live today's Chevy. Mr. Goodwrench and General Motors Parts. And by the U.S. Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
Ready to start the third quarter. Ready to start the third quarter here at Grant Field in Atlanta, Georgia. And there is Bo Jackson on the sideline. Had an excellent first half, but did not get a lot of help, especially in the passing game.
I would think in this second half you will see Auburn might go more and more to stretching that Georgia Tech defense. I don't think they did a very good job in the first half of really testing the speed of Georgia Tech. They do not possess any speed on defense, and so it'll be real tough if Bo Jackson gets outside. They had the greatest success when they were going outside, and I think that's one key element. Bill Curry and his defensive staff have done an exceptional job of containing Auburn, not giving up the big play, making them go long distances. He's got to be very pleased, and they also had the emotional aspect that really is built through the whole first half.
And of course, with the score 14-7, there's no reason to abandon your game plan to begin with. They can keep it on the ground.
Exactly, and you saw at the latter part of the first half, you saw Auburn slip away a little bit from what they want to do. They don't want to throw the ball. They don't want to have to throw it. They want to live with the run. They're the #1 rushing team in the country, and they don't want to live with having to throw the football at all.
Of course, that may have been a function, too, of they were running out of time in that first half.
Sure it was, but again, it brought them out of their character.
That's right.
They want more time to develop their plan.
Jerry Mays deep to receive along with Malcolm King. As Georgia Tech will get the football to start the third quarter, already leading 14-7. Tech at least a touchdown underdog coming into this one. And Chris Johnson will kick it away, a 5'11" freshman. Drives Mays 6 yards deep in the end zone, and King tells him to down it. He does, and Georgia Tech will start from its own 20-yard line. Steve, what do you think Georgia Tech will do differently, if anything, in the second half?
I don't think so. I think they had the distribution of the pressure off of Dewberry and Mays, and I think that was a nice mix. I think Dewberry's going to have to play an exceptional second half to keep the pressure on Auburn. They can't let up. They can't set on their lead. They cannot get in a scoring match. The game is developing just how they wanted it to.
1st and 10, Georgia Tech. Massey, 81. The tight end shifts to the near side. They have 2 wide receivers, Davenport and Lee. This is Mays, the tailback. And Mays will get maybe 1.5 yards. Pat Thomas makes the stop. Don't forget, tomorrow on CBS Sports, America's Chicago Marathon. The year's top marathon field will be there, including Olympic champion Joan Benoit, plus world record holder Steve Jones and Ingrid Christensen. They'll be part of 12,000 runners racing throughout Chicago tomorrow at 4:30 Eastern here on CBS Sports. There's an injured player on the field. We'll check on him when we come back right after this.
This is today's Chevrolet S10 Blazer.
For the fun, for the choice, for the town, on the great outdoors.
Now get low 8.8% financing on new 85 S10 Blazers, pickups, and maxi cabs. Chevy S10 Blazer can do it all with versatility, style, and a touch of fun. No wonder it's America's favorite sport utility vehicle, Chevy S10 Blazer.
Drive today, Chevy. Live today, Chevy.
Live it.
Chevy.
You're Melanie Sherwood, the famous actress.
I loved your last picture, Miss Sherwood. You ought to win an award.
No, 76 Gasoline should win the award.
Who, our gasoline?
For outstanding performance in the category of cleaning carburetors.
Well, it is good.
Good? It's superb, dear boy. It helped my car run smoother, idle better.
Well, I guess it should get an award.
And I accept. On behalf of 76 Gasoline, I'd like to thank everyone.
Fill her up with spirit.
My station attendant and all the little people.
The spirit of 76.
The first-place Cowboys renew their heated rivalry with the Eagles, or see the Redskins take on the Giants among the regional games tomorrow on CBS Sports.
The injured player is right guard Sam Bracken. The 260-pound senior Eric Bearden, a freshman, is now in there for him. This is Corey Collier cutting it back up the middle to the 27-yard line. Brought down by Edward Phillips, one of the linebackers in there, and that has been a concern for Auburn this year. The linebackers have not played as well as they had hoped. The defensive line in the secondary, however, have taken up a lot of that slack. Phillips, a sophomore. Michigan leading Iowa 7-6. That ball game at the half. Number 1 against number 2. 3rd and 4 here for Georgia Tech. Collier and King are the running backs behind John Dewberry, who wants to throw. Another blitz. He got rid of it. Complete to Collier, and it will be a first down, Georgia Tech. Great effort by Dewberry and a great effort by Collier as Pat Thomas was blitzing. He got him once like that in the first half, and he hit Dewberry hard when he unloaded.
They continue to keep the emotional aspect high for Georgia Tech. That has to help them. Dewberry really just drops the ball off. It's not real pretty, but Collier makes the catch. Now watch him having a sense of knowing where the 1st and 10 is, and really Auburn tackled him and pushed him a little bit closer to that 1st and 10 strike.
Dewberry got a helmet right in the back on the last play. It is a 1st and 10 for Georgia Tech. They'll run it out of the eye. King, the fullback, gets about 4. Robinson had him around the ankles and brought him down shy of the 35-yard line. There's Bracken, the senior out of Las Vegas, the right guard. He came limping off on his left leg, and it puts a lot of pressure on the freshman Eric Bearden, who has to come in and replace him on that offensive line. He's walking a little better than he was 2 minutes ago. Second down, 6 yards to go for Georgia Tech. They're leading at 14-7, opening minutes of the second half. Dewberry, play action. And it's intercepted by Powell. The free safety who came into the game with 4 interceptions, tied for 4th in the nation, picks off number 5, and Dewberry hit him right in the hands.
Earlier in the first half, Jimmy Warren had a chance to take the ball away and make a big play. This time, Tommy Powell is not to be denied. He's going to break on the ball. Number 9, make the interception. He knows the ball's underthrown. He's going to step in front of Gary Lee, the receiver, makes the interception. That's what you can't be denied. Turnover, big play for Auburn.
Everyone who loves chicken nuggets is going to love this news. Except McDonald's. The news is that people who said they've ever tried Kentucky Nuggets and McDonald's chicken nuggets rated our Kentucky Nuggets higher on taste. Maybe it's our secret blend of 11 herbs and spices, or because ours are made by the chicken experts. But come see for yourself. We think everyone will love our nuggets. Everyone. Except McDonald's.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, we do chicken right.
State Farm is there when disaster strikes.
It was on a Sunday morning. A tornado leveled this house and several others on this block. One of them belonged to my policyholders, the Roberts family. Monday morning, I got the State Farm disaster crew over there, and they got right to work on their claims. 3 months later, they were in their rebuilt house. Thankfully, the Roberts didn't need their life or health insurance, but their home and car insurance sure came in handy.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. In all of the great outdoors, there's beauty to hold forever. Forever in stamps and some creatures great and small. Forever in stamps. Let's keep our friends strong and free.
Save the wonder for all to see.
Forever in stamps.
Come discover stamp collecting. Bring home America's animals, including our magnificent horses, waiting at the post office now.
As the Auburn defensive coaches around Tom Powell, the free safety who made the interception and sets Auburn up in Georgia Tech territory. Bo Jackson inside the 40 to the 39, maybe the 38-yard line.
One of the things about the Georgia Tech scheme in terms of their defense, it really forces offensive football teams, as we look at Jerry Mays, it really forces offensive teams to be more conservative. They're trying to get you out of your diversified blocking schemes into a more base-oriented blocking concept. That's what they do to you.
2nd and 3, the little toss back to Bo Jackson, trying it outside. Cleve Pounds with a good tackle. Got him as he came inside the 35 to the 33-yard line. Well, they don't try to trick you or anything else. They just turn around and it's student body left or right.
I think that Pat Dye and his offensive staff have really gone through a kind of a renaissance. At the first part of the year, Mike, they really had the attitude that they were going to show a lot of different looks and kind of try to camouflage the obvious of Bo Jackson. After Tennessee's loss, they determined, hey, what we're going to do is go play smash ball and you stop Bo Jackson.
This is Agee, the fullback. Nothing in the middle. Hit hard. Cleve Pounds came up to finish him off after Glenn Spencer stopped him at the line of scrimmage. Pounds is one of those black watch defenders. That refers to that 17th century Scottish palace guard. And if these guys showed up in Scotland, they'd rule the world.
Well, Pounds was a former tailback. He's got good speed, reacts on the ball, and, you know, first of all, he was posted by 94. Spencer held him up, and then he was able to put the tackle away.
2nd and 10, Auburn. 11 minutes, 7 seconds on a turning clock from Atlanta. Georgia Tech on top, 14-7. Washington gives it to Bo Jackson, and so does Ken Parker. Parker in the backfield, and Bo Jackson, great as he is, can't do much when someone who's 240 pounds hits him at the same time he gets the ball.
Well, one thing that Georgia Tech's defensive line, they're changing. They're giving them multiple defensive looks. The offensive linemen are getting a little bit confused about where their man's going to come from, and that particular time it looked like one of the offensive tackles was not able to make a block, got stood up by someone he did not expect on the rush, and they made the play on Jackson.
The senior Heisman Trophy candidate with 97 yards on 17 carries. Now it's 3rd and 12. Option. Jackson almost broke it. Reginald Rutland, number 16, got enough of him to take him down.
Watch Bo Jackson. 3 people bounce off of his body. No one makes the tackle off of him. There's not a whole lot there. There's 1, 2, 3 men, and he pops loose. And if he had been able to keep up speed, he'd probably gone in a little bit 10, 15 yards farther.
And now Auburn will go with its field goal team. Chris Knapp who is 3 for 3 inside the 40, will try a 46-yard field goal. Very high, and it's going to be very short. Georgia Tech dodges a bullet and maintains their 14-7 lead. That's got to be a great thing for them for momentum. Timeout on the field, third quarter, 10-11 to go. It's Georgia Tech by 7.
The Patrick Ewing era begins next Saturday on CBS Sports.
We're not a company, but outstanding people come to us every day. People who want to make a contribution to a team and do work that really counts. People eager to see new places, do the unusual, and find the unusual. People who become your friends for life. People just like you. We're not a company. We're your country. We're the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the Army. We're the Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
Today, Chevrolet is making it fun with an international auto show.
Take a look, get the feel.
See the world from behind the wheel.
Come and be a part of it all.
Today, Chevrolet introduces your next small car. It's designed for high quality, high affordability, and fun. This year, more than 750,000 Americans will buy a small car at your Chevy dealer's International Auto Show. Shouldn't you?
Drive today, Chevy. Live today, Chevy. Chevy.
10 minutes, 11 seconds to go, third quarter. Georgia Tech has the football back from its own 29. Collier continues the tailback. Mays has an injury to his left hand. This is Collier. Tried to cut it upfield, picks up almost 5. Alex Dudchak made the tackle coming in from a defensive end position.
Bill Curry has got to be pleased with the way his team has performed on both sides of the ball. They've got control of the ball game. They've got the emotional edge. The crowd's into the game. It's just the setting that he wanted going into the second half.
But still, they're up by 7, and you have the feeling they may need some more points. Dewberry scrambling. Nice move by John Dewberry as he dives forward as Arthur Johnson made the tackle.
Well, coming into the ball game, they realized they could not get into a scoring match with Auburn, but they needed to control them. Not a bend, don't break type philosophy, but something along the lines of being able to take your shots, give as little as you can, and hopefully be able to sustain drives and keep the offense off the field. And they've been able to do that reasonably effectively. And I think the defense played above their ability right now. You don't agree, but I think so.
No, I think they're tough. Third down, 2 yards to go. This is Collier in motion, a single back remaining. Blitz. Dewberry unloads, and what a great play by Kevin Porter. He was out there man on man, and he made a great play.
Again, Auburn did not want to go to the blitz package. They are blitzing now, which tells you that they're trying to make things happen. They want to just 4- and 5-man rush. Dewberry gets squeezed, and a great play, as you said, Mike, by Kevin Porter to knock the ball away from Davenport.
Snow is on to punt. Been a good kicker all season. And Trey Gaines deep to receive, standing at his own 18. Not a lot of pressure. Beautiful punt by Snow. Another mortar shot. Gaines. Nothing. Hit down there on special teams by Michael Melvin. 45-yard punt and nothing on the return for Auburn. Tomorrow on the NFL Today, Herb Cross will take a look at the Rams' big play defense. They're the main factor in LA's 6-0 start this year. John Madden will explain why Lawrence Taylor has not been as effective this season as in others. And we'll have a look at the World Series with Pete Rose. That's all tomorrow on the NFL Today. Pat Washington leads his ball club out, and they'll give it to who else? Bo Jackson trying to get wide. Got by Swilling. and brought down as he reaches the 27-yard line. You got to see a lot of Bo Jackson's ability on that play, just gliding and waiting for room and then busting it ahead.
Well, if he glides too much and if he's too slow in terms of trying to find that little crease, then all of a sudden even Georgia Tech, because they have inferior speed, they're able to get out there. Also, they were working against the boundary, and that caused the play not to be quite as successful.
Even when he doesn't look like he's doing much, he gets 9 yards.
Yeah, I was going to say the next point. Almost in a 1st and 10. Typically, that play goes for more, though.
That's right. 2nd and a yard for Auburn. Agee, the fullback, who has been contained very, very well by Georgia Tech's defense today.
I think that illustrates, though, you don't realize how many yards he's gobbling up.
That's
for
right.
the style of running that he has, because he does look rather methodical until he creates that little crease for himself, and then he's gone.
I thought you made a great point in the first half. Because it's Bo Jackson, you expect to see the S on his chest. You expect every play to go 20, 30, 40 yards, and it's almost a disappointment to see him only gain 9.
It really is, but Bo Jackson will gain a lot of yards, and that's the concern for Georgia Tech, is if they can control him in this second half.
He has 112 so far today, going for more. What a move there. And a stiff arm will get him a couple of more out to the 35-yard line. Pulled down by Cleve Pounds, the Rover back, who a year ago led this team in tackles with 114, and that set a school record. So he's used to putting a shoulder pad in there.
You know, it's hard to believe Bo Jackson was a defensive end in high school, 3rd-team tailback, recruited because of his athletic ability and the things that the coaches saw in him. But my goodness, to think that he was a defensive end.
Well, the stories they tell about him, they swear they're all true, that he can throw a football 100 yards. Exceptional baseball play. The pass to Freddie Wagand is complete, and Sammy Lilly brings him down. And that was the first good-looking pass downfield that Pat Washington has thrown today.
Washington has a strong arm, and this is the kind of pass when you're throwing it all across the field. You've got to have all the arm. Sure tackle by Sammy Lilly, number 37. Lacks in size. He's only 5'9", late signee. No one offered him a scholarship. 4.6 speed, but he's a fighter and he's intense, and he broke down and made the tackle on Wagan, 14.
Washington now 2 out of 9, 17 yards and an interception. 6 minutes, 28 seconds to go, 3rd quarter. Washington, naked reverse. Hogan out there got a piece of him as he gets into Georgia Tech territory. Ken Parker also helped to finish him off. Second time this game he's run that particular play.
Ken Parker, number 84, has the responsibility to keep containment on the outside. Naked bootleg by Pat Washington. He's got the speed to find himself in the secondary, but a very sure tackle in there.
Washington has done better on the ground than he has on the air. 31 yards and 4 carries. Another first down for the Tigers. Fullwood in a tailback straight up the middle. This kid is a great runner and just tripped up by Mark White, the freshman linebacker. Fullwood with almost 350 yards rushing coming into this game. He averages 70 yards a game rushing, and that's behind Bo Jackson.
8.1 yards every time he touches the football. The coaches say that he's a little bit of a hot and cold runner. He's a very proud runner, very secure in his ability, but he loses intensity sometimes. But he's an able replacement for Bo Jackson.
Another first down, Auburn. Here's Fullwood again. Driving inside the 15 to about the 12-yard line of Georgia Tech. And all at once, it looks like they're getting bigger holes in the middle of that Tech defensive line.
Swilling, number 99, has a tough assignment working on the tight end. He's really being handled quite easily by Jeff Parks, 82. He's out of the play. He can't make it from that position. He's being driven back by Parks.
Auburn coaching staff loves Parks and Middleton, the H-back. Bo Jackson back in the game, and they're waiting for him, and it was White, the freshman linebacker from Upper St. Clair, Pennsylvania, who led the defensive charge.
What an outstanding luxury to have if you're Auburn. You're the number 2 rushing offensive team in the country, number 1 total offense, to have the depth at the running back and fullback position, to have a Tommy Agee, a Reggie Ware, a Bo Jackson, Brent Fullwood, and in 30 scholarship, 30-95 days, it's very difficult to create those kind of numbers.
That's right.
In terms of the backs, and they've got very talented backs.
Second down, 9 yards to go, and the officials are going to call a timeout, and Georgia Tech has asked for a timeout on defense. There's a timeout on the field with 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. Georgia Tech on top of Auburn, 14-7.
Manage. To handle or direct with skill. Rockwell International Management stimulates the work of its 120,000 employees, 1 in 6 a scientist or engineer. Their elegant solutions to customer needs make Rockwell a world leader. Rockwell International. Managing high technology for global markets.
I own a PC and a VCR, a condo on the beach, and my own company. But I don't own a car. I lease with GMAC. For me, leasing was smarter than buying. There's no major down payment, and since I worked out the terms with my GM dealer, I can pay less each month. It was easy. Now I've got the new car I want, and leasing frees up my money for other things.
GMAC Leasing, only at your GM dealer. For you, it just might be smarter than buying.
The Big Ten race is hot and getting hotter. The Ohio State Buckeyes will face the Golden Gophers of Minnesota in college football next Saturday on CBS Sports.
4 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third quarter. Georgia Tech still by 7 as Pat Dye looks on. His club with 75 yards rushing in this third quarter, looking to tie it up. Jackson plunges inside the 10 to about the 8, hit very hard.
I think
Ivory Lee in there on the stop. Excuse me, Steve.
I think it's very much of a credit, as we saw that graphic of 75 yards rushing in this half, for Pat Dye and his offensive staff to stay with what brought them to this point. Don't explode or self-destruct because you're not set really in your offensive plan. They're very secure in what they do, and I think that's the change in their mentality a little bit. We're going to stick with what has brought us here, and I think they're very comfortable in it.
Third down, 6 yards to go. Washington checks with AG, his fullback on the signal count. Jackson. And the tackle made by Reginald Rutland. And boy, he was out there all by his lonesome, and he'd better make the tackle.
This probably should go into the Georgia Tech highlight film. Watch Reggie Rutland one-on-one. Bo Jackson works from the middle of his body and down his legs and puts him down. Forces the field goal attempt.
Chris Knapp, who missed a 46-yarder earlier, is on to try one from 23. And he got this one. Auburn closes within 4 points, but in that situation, Georgia Tech was probably very happy to give up the 3 and not the 7 that would have tied it up. Next Saturday on CBS Sports, there's more college football action as Heisman hopeful Keith Byers of Ohio State will take his show on the road to Minnesota and go against Lou Holtz and the Golden Gophers. That's next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern on CBS Sports. Boys, Lou Holtz done a job at Minnesota.
Well, Lou Holtz has done a job about everywhere he's been in the country. North Carolina State, Arkansas, and now Minnesota. I think what is surprising and shocking about Lou Holtz is how quickly he has been able to accomplish his goal in Minnesota. Played lights out against my Oklahoma.
Well, sure did. Speaking of your Oklahoma, 27-7 Miami.
I said earlier before the ball game ever started that Miami of Florida represents the very type of offense that is so intimidating to Oklahoma. One, they are not very good in the secondary at Oklahoma right now. They're really struggling, and that game, it's not a surprise, really.
I didn't know if you were just whistling walking past the graveyard or not, but it doesn't look like you were.
No.
Florida with a runaway victory. Penn State squeaks by Syracuse. Nebraska with a lot of trouble with Missouri. Ohio State rolls over Purdue. It was closer than the final score would indicate. A mild upset. Alabama losing to Tennessee. Georgia and Vanderbilt. That's not a mild result at all. 13-13 tie. Mays once again driven 9 yards deep this time into the end zone. Excellent kickoff by Chris Johnson. And Georgia Tech will have to start from its own 20-yard line. Right now, the momentum has shifted as Auburn has had a very good third quarter. Be interesting to see what Georgia Tech decides to try to do on offense.
this is where they really got a critical situation. They've got to have a good drive here.
Tomorrow on CBS, Week 7 of the NFL season. Many of you will see the Dallas Cowboys, the NFL East leader at 5-1 against the Philadelphia Eagles. Impressive in drubbing the Cardinals. Some will see the Redskins and the Giants or other regional games, all starting with the NFL today. Check your local listings. Dewberry with a quick out to Gary Lee. And he's out of bounds as Jimmy Warren chases him out of there. It's been a big ball game for Gary Lee. He's made a couple of great catches.
Well, he's an outstanding receiver. He only caught 12 balls coming into the ball game, but he has big play potential, good size, a complete athlete, and really has taken advantage of Auburn and stretched them a little bit today.
Second down, 1 yard to go for Georgia Tech. Time winding down in the third quarter. They'll give it to King, the fullback. And he has the first down across the 30 to about the 31-yard line.
Malcolm King, the ball carrier.
There's that Tennessee-Alabama final again. Boy, is Johnny Majors having fun at Tennessee this year.
Alex Newton-Duncan, number 43.
North Carolina over NC State, one of those backyard brawls, 21-14. Tough year for NC State. First and 10, Georgia Tech, 2:49 to go in the third quarter. The Yellow Jackets on top of the Tigers by 7. This is Mays trying to get outside. Davenport, his flanker, threw him a couple of great blocks, and Jerry Mays stays on his feet. Davenport, 193-pound flanker, really threw him a good block, lost his man, and then hit him again. And Mays did a dance.
Let's see if we can see the block. That was very impressive, as you said, Mike. There's Mays catching the pat right there. No, it was King made one great block also.
And there's Davenport out
and there's Davenport. 2 excellent blocks thrown in the sweep play.
7 yards for Mays. Second and 3, Georgia Tech from their own 39. Davenport will go in motion with 2 tight ends. King, the fullback, gets a couple and no more.
Volunteering for Georgia Tech, number 29.
Good stop by Ben McCurdy, the linebacker. Here's Clemson over Duke, 21-9. Tigers are going to give a lot of people some trouble this year, even though they got off to a very slow start. And how about this? Virginia Tech over Virginia. That's one of those games where you throw out the record books. And Virginia Tech threw out Virginia with the book. First and 10, Tech, their own 42. Collier, nowhere to go on this one. Gets a couple and a swarming Auburn defense all over him.
I think the ability of Georgia Tech to move the ball deep in their own territory to midfield. If they have to turn it over and punt the football, they're going to really put Auburn in an adverse field position, change the momentum a little bit by field position. No, they're playing the very game that they thought they would have to play to have a chance to beat Auburn.
Joel Carter, number 43, comes in at fullback. Collier at tailback on 2nd and 8. Mannion, the tight end, shifts to the near side. Both wide receivers go to the other. Here's a blitz. And they get it out to Collier with a great catch. And Corey Collier gets out to the 47-yard line. Great play by Dewberry. Saw the blitz coming and just hung it up there. And Collier got it with one hand.
Oftentimes, I don't think that we respect or appreciate the job of a quarterback to try to get the ball away. He gets so much pressure from Bruce, number 93, and throws an end-over-end Steve Davis-type pass to Collier, who really makes a good play out of nothing play.
You threw better than that, I remember.
I don't know.
Dewberry, 9 out of 14, 116 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. 3rd and 5 for Georgia Tech. Collier goes in motion. Here's a blitz again, and it was going to be a quarterback draw, but Auburn with the blitz got Dewberry. Pat Thomas again from the right end, and another big play for that young man. That'll bring the third quarter to an end with the score, Georgia Tech 14, Auburn 10. We'll return after this message and a word from your local station.
Witness the birth of a bright new star, created through the joint effort of General Motors and Toyota. Nova, from today's Chevrolet. Nova, the best of both worlds, with room and comfort, attention to details, and responsive performance. New Nova from today's Chevrolet. It's not just better, it's the best of both worlds.
Drive today's Chevy, live today's Chevy.
Nova.
Strength, pride, tradition. For centuries, the Clydesdales have been known as a special breed. Today, the Clydesdales symbolize Budweiser's dedication to quality, superior ingredients, exclusive beechwood aging, and a distinctively clean, crisp taste only Budweiser can offer. Quality taste, because this Bud's for you.
This is CBS.
Did you know that even on a cold day, there's enough solar warmth in the air to melt an iceberg? That's why an electric heat pump is such an efficient way to heat your house. It takes the heat from the outside and blows it inside. Plus, in the summer, it takes the heat from the inside and blows it outside, so your house stays cool. So call Georgia Power and see if a heat pump makes sense for you. Well, it may not be right for every kind of house.
Move it! Move it. Move behind the wheel of an 86 Calais for that special feel from Oldsmobile. Hey, we're being chased. Chase is on for the best price from the Southern Olds family. Let's go. Get going with a front-wheel drive performance of Oldsmobile. Cutlass Sierra in great supply and on sale from your local Southern Olds family dealer. Now what? Be one of the first to test drive Oldsmobile for 86. Now at your local Southern Olds family dealer.
Small Wonder tonight at 7:30.
CBS Sports presents college football. Sponsored by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. Visa, accepted worldwide for shopping, dining, and travel. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. And by Radio Shack, a division of Tandy Corporation.
Patrick and Steve Davis with you from Atlanta, Georgia. And we're starting the fourth quarter as Mike Snow, who's averaged 47.3 yards a kick, comes on to punt for Georgia Tech on 4th and 8. Snow's gone back to the three-step kick, drills another one. Trey Gaines fakes the fair catch, and this one will get an Auburn bounce and go into the end zone. So the Tigers will start from their own 20-yard line as we start the fourth quarter. A reminder, next Saturday from what should be a sold-out Madison Square Garden, CBS Sports will present Patrick Ewing's NBA debut as his New York Knicks host the Philadelphia 76ers. Out of Georgetown, Ewing is perhaps the most celebrated player to join the NBA since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar arrived in 1969, but he'll face a tough test in that opener against Moses Malone and the 76ers. That's next Saturday at 1, right here on CBS. Auburn down by 4. They'll give it to Bo Jackson. Tries to slip it outside. Gets about 3 yards. Good tackle by Malone. Right now, let's go to New York for a college football update.
All right, Mike. Iowa is driving here for a score, but it's a poor choice by Chuck Long as he throws the ball late outside. Dieter Heron is there to make yet another interception for Michigan this season. Iowa still losing 7-6 in the third quarter. Let's go back to Mike and Steve.
14:25 left in the ball game, and it's Auburn in possession, down 14-10, facing a 2nd and 6 from their own 24. Give to Jackson. They tried a little delay action there, sent AG in one direction and Jackson in the other, but they will keep an eye, if not two, on Bo Jackson.
One very instinctive point that I think Bo Jackson reveals. When he gets in a crowd, he's so protective of the football. He does not fumble. You know, just aware that he's going to get hit, so you see both arms go to that football. For you young kids that are watching, that's really a great ability of an athlete to be able to know and protect the football. Don't fumble it. Don't cough it up.
Jackson with 126 yards behind that great offensive line of Steve Wallace, Jeff Lott, Ben Tamburello, Yan Cowart, and Stacy Searles. Jackson, he's loose. They'll never get him. Bo Jackson, 76 yards. 20,000 Auburn fans here today, and they are all on their feet for Bo Jackson, who has gone over the 200-yard mark in rushing with that 76-yard scamper. Knapp is on for the point after, and has this one turned around. Auburn has taken a 17-14 lead over Georgia Tech. Steve, that's what you kept saying.
Well, I really felt like that if Auburn could get outside, that Georgia Tech did not have the ability, the speed to contain Bo Jackson or any of the Auburn backs. He bounced off one tackler, and then it's a track meet. They do not have the ability to play a lateral type game with you. They've got to be able to, you just can't, he's going to outrun you every time.
13:23 left in the game. It's Auburn over Georgia Tech, 17-14.
You'd never expect to catch a fish in downtown Austin. Yet that's the reason people come to the Austin Angler, one of the few places in Texas you can get a custom-made split bamboo fly rod and a fresh-tied woolly one to go on the end. So if you go there, remember, keep your rod tip up and put your Visa card down. Because at the Angler, they don't take fishing lightly, and they don't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Today's Chevrolet is a little import called Spectrum, a spectacular combination of fun and practicality. We call it
Spectrumality. Solid. Spectrumality.
price,
Spectrumality.
room,
Spectrumality.
technology,
Spectrumality.
spirit,
Spectrumality.
economy, and more. All part of the new Chevy Spectrum, a spectacular combination of fun and practicality called
Spectrumality. Live today, Chevy. Chevy.
At every level of competition, he's been a champion. The Patrick Ewing era begins next Saturday against Moses Malone and the 76ers on CBS Sports.
To illustrate that speed kills, watch Bo Jackson. 3 players will have the angle on Bo Jackson. 1, 2, 3. Now, watch the difference that Bo Jackson's speed makes.
4.22 sprinter, that is world-class speed, hung on a 225-pound frame. Put those together, you get 76-yard runs. And 202 yards rushing in this ball game out of Auburn's 324 yards total offense. Bill Curry, who had seen his team up by 7, now sees them down by 3 with 13:23 left in the ball game. Mays and King will go deep as Chris Johnson is set to kick it away for the Tigers. And the momentum has definitely shifted in Auburn's favor. Mays will have a chance on this one from the 4. He's got room to run. Jerry Mays up to the 42-yard line. He was caught by Shan Morris, the son of the former Georgia Tech All-American. Or Mays had a touchdown, and a flag goes down on top of it. And it's against Auburn. And Mays is still down. Boy, did he turn it on. Jerry Mays is still down, and he does not look like he will be getting up real quickly. Here's the call.
Dead ball foul on run back on the defense. First down.
Now Mays gets to his feet. That's good to see.
Mays does an excellent job of following the wall. Look how impressive the wall is. Now he finds a little crease and breaks into the area where there's just not any players. Watch Auburn's concern. There's Bo Jackson.
1st and 10, Georgia Tech in Auburn territory at the 44 after the penalty. Davenport goes in motion. Fullback King straight up the middle. Inside the 40 to the Auburn 38. Tackle made by Harold Hallman and Tracy Rocker in the middle of that defensive line. Gain of 6 for King. There's Mays being attended on the sideline, and they're working on that left leg. It looks like the ankle. Oh, what a big game for Jerry Mays. He has both Georgia Tech touchdowns, 1 receiving and 1 rushing. 2nd and 4 for Tech. Most of the crowd on its feet. Collier tries to get outside. Did not have a chance. Edward Phillips, number 46, was waiting on him, and there is a mismatch. Phillips at 239 and Collier at 193 pounds and 5'7".
Georgia Tech having again to bounce the play outside, and they just ride him into the end zone.
Edward play here, 3rd and 3. 12:36 left to go in the game. Auburn 17, Georgia Tech 14. And the crowd is really into this one. Out of the eye, they split the wide receivers. Give it to Collier. He's hit and dives forward to the 35, but he's going to be shy of the first down. Harold Hallman, the nose guard, in on the tackle. What do you do if you're Bill Curry on 4th and less than a yard?
Well, I think that he realizes that the offense of Auburn has really found some combinations that are working for them. I think that physically they're wearing Georgia Tech down. I think there's obvious they're going to go for it. They need a 1st and 10.
Dewberry leads them out. Remember, in the first half, they had 3rd and short twice, and both times they passed. They'll give it to Collier. He dives, and he didn't make it. A great defensive stand by Auburn, and Tracy Rocker with his hands in the air. But Alex Duchak was the man in the middle of that defense, number 80, and he made the stop. And Collier had the flight cut short.
What I wanted to say, they need a 1st and 10, but more than anything else, they need to control the ball, keep the ball, and they just go over the top. You have to find a little angle or something, go, and you just don't have the ability. Didn't have the ability to get high enough.
Auburn holds on defense, leading 17-14 4th quarter.
Test pilot Chuck Yeager for AC Delco.
Up here, power when you need it can save your neck. When you get back down to your car, it helps too. Today's smaller engines need extra firepower from a spark plug, and AC delivers. If you could look inside your engine, you'd see an AC spark plug delivering up to 30,000 volts, firing 30 times a second. Firepower when you need it from AC.
Get rebates now on AC spark plugs.
Never wait for trouble.
Sometimes getting car financing turns out to be one long hassle.
What kind of car did you have in mind?
A Fiero.
Oh, an Italian car.
It's a Pontiac from General Motors.
They make Chevrolets, Oldsmobiles, Buicks, Cadillacs.
GMC trucks.
This is none of my business, but those are not Italian cars. Make it easy on yourself. Finance your car or truck right at your GM dealer with GMAC.
You understand, we do have to know what you want to do with all these cars.
Nobody knows more about financing and leasing cars than GMAC.
Agatha Christie's most famous snoop puts his nose to another case of murder most foul. Peter Ustinov and Faye Dunaway in Agatha Christie's 13 at Dinner.
11 minutes, 52 seconds left in the game. Auburn has recaptured the lead, 17-14. Steve, I'd have to think this is a big defensive series for Georgia Tech because Auburn loves this situation, ahead and in possession of the ball.
And they can play into their own hands. They can run their own offense and attack. They don't have to modify it at all and give it to those people.
Fullwood in a tailback. Mark Pike hits him, but not before he crosses the 40 to about the 43-yard line. And as you said earlier, what a luxury to have a Fullwood come in for Bo Jackson. Clock turning, 11:25 to go in the game. Fullwood with a gain of 8 at 2nd and 2. Fullwood again. Right side being chased this time and won't get anything out of it. Nice play by Cleve Pounds, the strong safety called in Georgia Tech system the rover back, and they came up and knocked him out of bounds for a loss.
Sometimes the sidelines can really be your friend when you're playing a lateral type team that Auburn is. If you get one hit on the running back and force him to bounce parallel to the line of scrimmage, then hopefully if you're playing with the sidelines, then your speed, your overall team concept can get you there, and you can make the play.
Paul Jurgensen, number 86, is in on that strong side defensive end for Swilling on 3rd and 2. Here's the option for Washington. Good run by Washington. He has the first down out to the 47-yard line. The senior from Mobile did his job on that one. Much to the dismay of Bill Curry. The lead is 3 points, 17-14, and we're under 11 minutes, 10:58 and counting. Beautiful Saturday afternoon for college football, and it's been a great one. Georgia Tech and Auburn. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Bo Jackson back in at the tailback. Lost the ball. And Auburn, for the second time in a game, got a fumble back that was laying on the ground, waiting to be recovered by Georgia Tech. That was Stacy Searles, the big right tackle, who got it back.
Jackson talked about early, gets in a crowd, usually protects the ball. He really ran into the back of a Georgia Tech player, and the ball bounced free, and it fell right into the hands of Searles, number 60. He was very fortunate to be there because there was Georgia Tech black jerseys all around the ball.
Spotted at the Auburn 47, 2nd and 10. No gain on the fumble. 3 wide receivers in the ballgame, and Washington wants to throw. And incomplete through the hands of Freddie Wagan. Pass was a little high, but he could have caught it. Let's go to New York for another college football update, and Jim Nance.
Well, Mike, life has not been easy for teams in the top 10. Oklahoma losing to Miami of Florida with 10 minutes to go. Quarterback Troy Aikman's injury has been diagnosed now as a broken ankle, most likely out for the rest of the regular season. Texas 15-13 over Arkansas in the 4th quarter. Jeff Ward has 5 field goals for the Longhorns. And Air Force 35-19 over Colorado State. Looks like the Falcons will be off to their best start since 1970. A win today will make them 7-0. Let's go back to Mike and Steve.
Jim, thank you very much. 9:52 to go, and the crowd really in it now. 3rd and 10 for Auburn from their own 47. Jackson will not have the first down, and Georgia Tech's defense has held in a very big series. Ralph Malone, number 95, makes the tackle on Big Bo Jackson.
What's important is they forced Auburn to have to kick the football. That was, I imagine, the concern for the defensive coaches, the way they were just methodically going down the field. Now they've been able to force them in a punting situation. Probably will not get good field position, but they're going to get the ball.
Colbert is back to kick. And Sammy Lee waits at his 10. May not get a shot at this one either. Colbert's been very good at putting the ball out of bounds. Kicks the air out of it. Let's see if it makes the end zone. And it won't. It takes a big bounce for Auburn. They lost it. Where will they down it? Inside the 1-yard line. And now one of the officials signals it's a touchback and will go out to the 20. They bobbled that ball, Steve, or they'd have had it down at about the 1-foot line. 9:05 left. Auburn over Georgia Tech, 17-14.
This Bud's for all you guys who know it's how you play the game.
This Bud's for you. There's no one else who makes them move the way you do. Come your way. So here's to you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do. This Bud's for you.
Listen, I don't know how they found out about the Saving Place sale before you did, but they're buying things like crazy. Fashion Fresh paint at $5.48, it's disappearing. Kmart antifreeze, just 2 for $4 after rebate. Gala towels, 59 cents. Halloween Junior Boss, $1.99. They can't last. As for these electric blankets, I'll hide one under the counter for you. Kmart, the Saving Place, you can't do better, but you better hurry.
The Big Ten race is hot and getting hotter. The Ohio State Buckeyes will face the Golden Gophers of Minnesota in college football next Saturday on CBS Sports.
There you see the score from the biggest game of the day. Iowa leading Michigan 9-7. You'll be joining that game at the conclusion of Auburn, Georgia Tech. Big possession here. Dewberry to throw on first down, and it's stuffed in his face by Andre Bruce, number 93, the sophomore from Montgomery, Alabama. saw pass early and got up there. Andre's an outstanding special teams performer, and that time he made a great play from scrimmage.
He's made some outstanding plays today. He's put a hard rush on the quarterback on blitz plays, knocked down the ball, just played very well.
Second and 10, Georgia Tech. Collier is the tailback. He'll have it on the delay, and nothing. Andre Bruce again in on the tackle along with Edward Phillips, 46, and number 45, Jimmy Warren, the right corner. You can see the intensity picking up for this Auburn Tiger defense. Now is the time they needed, up by 3 points with 8:37 left to go. They still have a shot at the national championship, they believe, but a second loss would do them in. Third down, 9.5. That's Collier in motion. Three-man rush. Dewberry escapes once, unloads, complete to Collier. Collier to the 32-yard line. First down, Georgia Tech. Oh, Dewberry playing Houdini on that one.
What relentless talent of John Dewberry to be able to hang in there. He had a chance to run the ball. He knew that would be a question. He had to go a long distance for the 1st and 10. Watch him. He gets out. He throws the ball really off balance and hits Collier, who was far enough down the field to get the 1st and 10.
Nice grab by Corey Collier. First down, Georgia Tech. We're under 8 minutes to go. The Yellow Jackets down by 3. This is easily into the ballgame for the first time at tailback. And the big man gets it out to the 43. Easley is listed at 222. He looks more like 245. And when he gets it going, he is a load to bring down. We haven't seen Mays in a while. Remember, he had that left hand injury. And now they say he also has a turf toe. So we may not see Jerry Mays. Those are extremely painful. First and 10, Georgia Tech. The Yellow Jackets own 42. Mack, the fullback, slides off one tackle, gets to the 45. Now let's go to New York for a college football report with Pat Hayden.
Mike, Iowa has just kicked a 36-yard field goal to take a 9-7 lead in the 4th quarter. And folks, you'll see the conclusion of the Michigan-Iowa game after Auburn, Georgia Tech is over. Let's go back to Mike and Steve.
Thank you, Pat. 7 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the game. 2nd and 8, Georgia Tech from their own 45. Tech down by 3. Dewberry to throw, fakes to Collier. Now goes to the other side to Matt. 44-43 line of Auburn. A 12-yard gain, and Dewberry is into acting 101. He set it up beautifully.
Really did. What John Dewberry did is really make that play work. It was slow developing. He looked to the right. He had Auburn really backing on its heels and then was able to come back and make the completion. But it was Dewberry's ability to look defenders off and complete the short pass.
Charles Mack, only his 4th reception of the season. And it gives Georgia Tech a first down at the Auburn 43. Joel Carter in at fullback. He's blocking for Corey Collier. Collier gets 3 to the Auburn 40.
On the carry, number 25.
Time becoming a factor. We're at 6 minutes and 28 seconds left. Georgia Tech trying to get in a position at least to go for a 17-17 tie, but you know they want more than that. King comes back in at fullback, and Carter will check out. This is where Dewberry is so valuable. He is a terrific leader. Davenport comes in motion. They'll give it to King, the fullback, slides off one tackle and then is flattened by Jimmy Warren. Oh, what a shot by Warren. Holy cow.
Malcolm King, the fullback, 5'9", 197 sophomore. Jimmy Warren, 45, has had some good plays and a couple of questionable plays in terms of decisions, but that time he put a physical assault on Malcolm King.
Well, Malcolm wasn't hurt, but he may be late for the dance tonight.
He doesn't know where the dance is, I don't think.
3rd and 2 at the 35-yard line. Lee in motion. Collier got to the 34, but he'll be shy of the first down. And, Steve, we come up with the same situation we had last time. It's going to be 4th and a yard. They ran for it, and they didn't make it.
Last time they went with a kind of a dive and trying to jump over the top of that Auburn defensive front. Their size is 6'3", 5'11", and 6'3" across the front. Now Bill Curry's trying to figure out, they're going to take a timeout, talk about it, figure out just what play will work in this situation.
Number 40.
Well, I think that's a great call. You don't want to get a play in there that's not going to work right now. This may be your last shot with 4:56 left.
As you look into the huddle, John Dewberry's doing a lot of talking, trying to communicate what plays he feels like. Now the coaches are talking to their people up in the booth to determine just what play is right for this call. Dewberry, I think, as a quarterback, as a senior, as a leader, he will have to be the confident one that that's the right play, too.
Steve, as a coach, in the first half, they threw on 3rd and short a couple of times. It would be a gutsy call to come out here and throw on 4th and 1, wouldn't it?
Well, it would be gutsy. I think it would be rather creative. I think you might find someone very open. But the problem is, does Auburn, they're going to stack inside. Do they take a blitz? If they're in a blitz package, then all of a sudden, it's got to be a short pass to make it work. It's going to be a very fun play to watch. I wouldn't want to call it right now.
Something else to think about. If it is a blitz, Gary Lee is the veteran receiver out there, and he's the guy John Dewberry would be going to. He's the man he trusts.
Generally, in short yardage, they like the isolation, the trap play, or the sweep play. That's what they've run in their attack.
Collier is the tailback on 4th and 1 from the Auburn 34. And Dewberry wants to throw under pressure. And he's going to be short of the first down. I don't think he made it. It looked like Dewberry lost his footing and stumbled. And where they marked him down, he'll be a yard shy. They mark it closer to the 43. Now they move it back. And it's a yard shy.
Going this way. Here we go.
The Tigers have held. They'll get the football with 4:50 left.
John Dewberry really, I think, had the play, but he stumbles. I really believe that he had, he slipped. He was trying to turn sharp, trying to find that little seam, that little gap to get for the first and 10. He knew exactly where it was. Let's watch Pat Dye's reaction.
We're not a company.
But no company has more pride in what they do.
Or more pride in how well they do it.
We offer you a meaningful and fulfilling future.
One that goes far beyond the ordinary.
One that brings with it the respect and admiration of Americans everywhere.
We're not a company.
We're your country.
We're the Air Force.
The Marines.
The Army.
The Navy.
We're the Armed Forces.
It's a great place to start.
Night training. It never stops for Mr. Goodwrench. Cars change, he changes. He picks from over 100 General Motors service schools to stay on the leading edge of service technology. He keeps up with fuel injection, turbocharger changes, new electronics, transaxle advances, you name it. He's trained to be good. He's trained to stay good. Mr. Goodwrench. No one knows your GM car better. No one.
The first-place Cowboys renew their heated rivalry with the Eagles, or see the Redskins take on the Giants among the regional games tomorrow on CBS Sports.
4 minutes, 50 seconds to go in the ball game. Auburn, with its second big defensive stand, has the ball back. This is Bo Jackson. Look out! Running over people. The last man he trampled was Mike Travis, the right cornerback. Michigan leading Iowa 10-9. It's now in the fourth quarter, and you'll be seeing the conclusion of that ball game when we're wrapped up here in Atlanta. Bo Jackson, 221 yards on 29 carries. I'd say he's got to be considered the best.
I think so. I think he is the best, and I think he's won the Heisman Trophy. I really believe he's the best player in America.
One of the questions at Auburn is he going to go on to football or baseball? It was a first down for Bo Jackson. Here's Washington. He's in trouble this time. Made a nice move to get away. Parker chasing him and missed. Let's go to New York for an update with Pat Hayden.
Mike, as you just said, Mike Gillette kicks a 40-yard field goal to put the Wolverines back on top 10-9 in the fourth quarter. We're going to bring you that game at the conclusion of yours. Let's go back to Mike and Steve.
Thank you, Pat. 4 minutes, 10 seconds left to go in this ball game. A 2nd and 4 for the Auburn Tigers. And that defense has been on the field a long, long time for Georgia Tech, especially in this half. They're going to have to dig in now to give the Yellow Jackets any kind of chance. Livingston, the H-back, the man in motion. Jackson, very close to the first down as he reaches the Georgia Tech 45-yard line.
Tacklers led by number 56, Ivory Lee.
3rd down, 1 yard to go. Part of the Auburn band that made the trip here. About 2 hours away down the road to Auburn, Alabama. In baseball, that man is compared to people like Mantle and Mays. Not to mention Superman. 3rd and a yard, first down, Auburn and Bo Jackson. We've said a lot about Bo Jackson. Let's see what some other people have had to see about him this year around the country. Mike Wilbon of the Washington Post. Unquestionably the best back in college football today. Tough to argue with. And Michael has seen his share of college football. 31 carries, 228 yards. Well, they take him out for a breather, but he doesn't even look tired, Steve. 1st and 10 with 3:04 to go. Fullwood, no chance. Hit in the backfield by Mark Pike. And now those timeouts are going to be an important factor. Georgia Tech only has 1 left. And Auburn is just as interested in the clock as it is gaining yards. And you notice the Tigers are taking their own sweet time. Second down, 13 yards to go. 2:29 left. Parks, the tight end in motion. Here's Washington on the option. Pitches it out to Fullwood. Tried to stay in bounds and did. Rutland creamed him.
He was stopped by number 16.
Reggie Rutland, 16, really has made some fine plays today. This time working on Fullwood on the option. You see him right in the middle of your screen. He's got to go take him a one-on-one. Head right to the chest. Puts him out. I don't know who won that battle because they're very physical, punishing backs at Auburn. Excellent tackle by Rutland.
Great play by Fullwood to stay in bounds and keep that clock turning. Bo Jackson is back in. Fullwood is out. Auburn with 350 yards rushing today. 3rd and 11. Georgia Tech must hold to have a chance. Here comes the reverse. Weigand. Holy cow, what a call. In that situation, a flag goes down. I think you're going to have a hold against Auburn, but it may be after they got the first down. We'll have to wait to see. No, they're going to bring it back. And what a terrible thing to have happen to the Tigers. No need to hold. You already had the first down and maybe the game in your pocket.
Reggie Rutland, number 16, who had just made the great tackle on Brent Fullwood. I bet Reggie felt like he was in custody. 2 of the Auburn defenders just held him up, just to try to take him out of the play. He was so frustrated by it.
Holding on the offensive team. Repeat, 3rd down again.
But because they mark it off from the spot of the foul, it's 3rd and a yard. 1 break for Auburn, 1 for Georgia Tech. And we're down to 1:34 and counting. The clock running. And Georgia Tech must now hold twice in short yardage situation, we would presume. Wouldn't want to guess who's going to get the football, would you? Bo Jackson Jackson, Ricardo Ingram got a piece of him, but he's down to the 20-yard line. Another first down for Auburn. That'll stop the clock momentarily while they move the sticks, but Bo Jackson with 14 yards, another first down, and Georgia Tech only has one timeout left.
Another aspect of the dimensions of Bo Jackson is how he punishes people. He really just deals out so much in terms of the way he runs, his power. He's not afraid to, he's not going to go to the turf or go to the sidelines. He can dish it out as well as he can take it.
242 yards rushing for Bo Jackson, his second biggest game of the season. He had 290 in the opener against Southwestern Louisiana.
There's a perfect illustration of Bo Jackson. Football player in a football uniform with a baseball cap on.
Timeout with 1:08 left. Back after this.
Today, Chevrolet is merging a world of ideas for you.
It's coming now to the USA. The fun awaits for you today. Come and be a part of it all.
Today, Chevrolet is like an international auto show. Imported and American-built small cars, wagons, hatchbacks, convertibles, 3-, 4-, or 6-cylinder power. Nobody nowhere has more kinds of small cars than your Chevy dealer's international auto show.
Drive today, Chevy. Live today, Chevy. Chevy. When do you say LA?
When I've got an afternoon of painting ahead of me, I say LA.
Think it needs 2 coats?
Nah.
When do you say LA?
When it's open house and I'm the host, I say LA.
Stu?
Bob.
Sorry.
But I'll change it.
From Anheuser-Busch, LA beer. Great taste with half the alcohol. Sometimes it's the perfect thing to say.
You can say that again.
Stu?
No. Clam dip.
Sometimes it's the perfect thing to say.
Auburn in control with 1 minute and 8 seconds left from Grant Field in Atlanta. The Tigers on top of Georgia Tech, 17-14. Tech has used its last timeout, and Auburn has a 1st and 10 at the 19. And the one thing left to do now is protect the football. Flags go down. A couple of right crosses thrown.
Defense.
The Chevrolet most valuable players of the game are from Auburn. Bo Jackson, who rushed for 242 yards. And from Georgia Tech, Jerry Mays. A check in the amount of $1,000 will be donated by Chevrolet to each college's general scholarship fund to further assist qualified students in all chosen academic fields. Also a big day for Jerry Mays. 2 touchdowns, both of Georgia Tech's scoring drives. 4th time this year, Bo Jackson has gone over 200 yards rushing. He's not in there right now, and Pat Washington will just down it, and Georgia Tech can only stand by and watch. Auburn showed a lot of character coming from behind. They had a lot of things against them. The home field advantage, the momentum. Georgia Tech was playing some great defense.
It's really an important victory for them, as all of them are, but they've got a tough task. Mississippi State next week, Florida, East Carolina, Georgia, and Alabama are all yet to come on their schedule. Bill Curry's done a great job at Georgia Tech. Sorry, Mike, he really has.
Washington just downs the ball again. And that'll be it. They won't have to run another play. Auburn, with a great display in the second half, has pulled one out of the fire against a Georgia Tech team that hung in there just as long as it could. And Pat Dye will come across the field to shake hands with his friend Bill Curry. Great win for Auburn. Tough loss for Georgia Tech. Auburn will go to 5-1 on the year and probably move up in the rankings. It was a tough day for other top 10 ranked teams. Georgia Tech will fall to 4-2. There's the final. Auburn 17, Georgia Tech 14 on the Yellow Jackets home field. Now let's join number 1 against number 2, Iowa and Michigan, and Brent Musburger.